to San Diego's Jack Murphy Stadium, where Darnay Scott catches a pass from David Lowry and has a first and goal at the 3. Steve Zabriskie and Bo Schembechler with you, and it has been fireworks already. Fresno State's Ron Rivers scored on the second play of the game, an 80-yard touchdown run. Fresno State is leading at 7-0 early here in the first quarter, and now on the second play for San Diego State, a 50-yard bomb to Darnay Scott.
This is the fade pass, and it's thrown perfectly to Scott. It's interesting that number 19, James Burton, is the guy that Fresno State wants to cover Scott. However, on the very first play, they go to him deep, and he hits the big one, and now they've scored.
Marshall Falk, his first carry, a 19-yard gain around left end. His second carry, a 3-yard touchdown run.
This is merely a handoff off tackle play. There was a huge hole in there on the goal line. There wasn't much pressure for him to run in there, and he got an easy touchdown.
Al Luganville, the head coach at San Diego State, will walk a lot. They have on the scoreboard here the allometer, where they try to keep track of how many miles he walks during the game. Andy Trackus, extra point is good, and the game is tied with 14:08 left to play in the first quarter. We haven't even played a minute, Coach, and it's 7-7.
I think these teams think that defense is something that you put around a house.
Let's go back and look at the 80-yard run by Fresno State's Ron Rivers that gave them the lead for a moment.
There was a great block by Neal right on the corner. He broke into the clear here, and nobody was, once he was 10 yards beyond the line of scrimmage, there was no one around, and he outraced the far cornerback into the end zone for a touchdown. That was the second play from scrimmage.
Fresno State scored on an 80-yard drive, 2 plays. San Diego State comes back on a 72-yard drive in 3 plays, and the game is tied at 7. This could be a harbinger of things to come today.
Now let's look. Fresno State's had 2 weeks to prepare for this game. Let's look for something fancy on this kickoff, because the way things are going, I can see something like that happening on this kickoff.
That's a possibility. That's Jim Sweeney's bag. Anthony Daigle and Michael Ross are back to receive. There's Jim Sweeney. His second stint as the head coach at Fresno State in his 15th year overall. He's won 123 games while head coach at Fresno State. Andy Trackus hits it. Michael Ross at the goal line. Lost the football, but keeps going to about the 18, where he's knocked down by 24, Eric Sutton. So the action abounds, and back to work goes Trent Dilfer at 6'5" and 225. And he is a load carrying the ball as well as passing. He can run. The diehard starting lineup for Fresno State, they have Ron Rivers, Lorenzo Neal, their leading rusher, and the wideouts are Malcolm Seabron, the leading receiver, Tydus Winans, and the tight end is Marty Thompson. Lorenzo Neal carrying, and he gains about 5 out to the 23. Tracy Mao, number 58, making the tackle. The diehard starting lineup for the Fresno State defense, with Collins, Cold Iron, Scott, Hartman, and Hardwick up front. Those big offensive linemen, and the 2 teams pretty much equal as far as size is concerned. Anthony Daigle, number 2, now in at running back. Delay to Neal. And Lorenzo Neal runs right over one tackler, Sam Williford, the strong safety, number 4, and keeps going very near a first down. It looks like he may have it. The crowd booing because they thought he was down. Here's the diehard starting lineup for San Diego State's defense, with Glaze, Glover, and Duff, the 3 down linemen. Mao, Robertson, Smith, 3 linebackers, and the Aztecs really play almost always with 5 defensive backs: Taylor, Williford, Lewis, Griffith, and Pieri. Griffith almost like an outside linebacker or strong safety. High formation, 1st and 10 at the 30. And the pitch to Daigle. Daigle falls forward to about the 34 in the grasp of Leroy Glover, number 92, the nose guard. Marshall Falk is being attended to on the bench. And we don't know whether or not he was shaken up, injured, or what might be the problem. We will attempt to, of course, get word from the sideline as quickly as possible. Now Ron Rivers 20 back in. And Rivers has the football. He's going to throw it. But he's under pressure. And it's incomplete. Intended for Malcolm Seabron. It was underthrown. He had pressure from number 34, Robert Griffin.
That's one of the 3 plays he gave me when I visited practice Wednesday. To fake the power sweep to the right and to try to hit Seabron from the far side coming across, but it didn't fool the San Diego secondary.
The standings in the WAC with San Diego State after beating Hawaii last week, needing a win to clinch the Holiday Bowl berth. 3rd down 5. Dilfer completes it on a fine diving catch on the near sideline by Malcolm Seabron, who's now caught 36 balls and over 800 yards.
This is a split back formation with the backs split. They threw an out cut to the field, and a great catch in there by Malcolm Seabron. The ball was thrown a little high, but he went up and got it.
Jim Sweeney and his club need a win today. They would also not only knock San Diego State out of the Holiday Bowl, but it would give them credibility in the WAC conference. And it would also keep their slim bowl hopes alive with their final game at Texas El Paso next week. Anthony Daigle caught in the backfield and dropped right at the line of scrimmage. Jamal Duff, number 48, leading the penetration for San Diego State.
They flex that tight end in there. They were plugging the tight end with a strong safety. They flex the tight end out so that safety has to come out to cover him and then try to run off tackle into that splitter. However, that time there was penetration and they were unsuccessful.
2nd down and almost 10 yards to go. He may have gained about a foot. Little flip out to Anthony Daigle, who eludes Tracy Mao. But that's as far as he'll go, maybe gaining 2 before Leroy Glover brings him down for 92.
It's a little swing pass, not quite a screen, but a swing pass to the tailback, and hopefully they thought in the open field he would get some big yardage, but they covered quick.
Well, a reminder, Thanksgiving Day will be a big one with Auburn, Alabama here on ABC beginning at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And then the next day, we've also got football for you. Nebraska and Oklahoma on Friday. So big weekend coming up here on ABC. On 3rd down, incomplete. Perfectly timed by Damon Pierre as he blasted the intended receiver, Malcolm Seabron.
Well, this is a what you call a rollout pass to the right. He gets Seabron right down there on the corner and throws the ball right in his hands. Should have made the catch, and they would have had the 1st down.
Derek Mahoney on to punt. He's a junior out of Fountain Valley, California, averaging 40.7. Ray Peterson, number 17, back inside the 15 for San Diego State. And it's a good one. The 10. Peterson has a wall. One man to beat, it's the kicker. And Peterson will go all the way for San Diego State. Rather than Thanksgiving coming up, you'd think the 4th of July was around the corner with the fireworks we're having already.
Well, you must admit there's some big plays in this game. They had the wall set up on the right side, and as you can see, Here he is breaking to the outside. Once he gets into the clear here, he's gone. But that play was excellently set up and blocked. The kick enough was long enough. It wasn't really high. There wasn't any great hang time. That allowed them to get into position to block and go all the way.
A 91-yard return of a 42-yard punt by Ray Peterson. Trackus adds the extra point, and San Diego State, with 10:26 remaining in the first quarter, leads it 14-7. Well, the allometer may be running overtime today as Al Luganville, who's usually pacing, is running out onto the field following Ray Peterson on that 91-yard punt return. And then I think he was looking for a flag when he turned around just to be sure.
The official had to chase him off the field. Ray Peterson, up until that point, had returned 30 punts for an average of 6.4 yards per return. That 91-yarder will kick that one up.
Ron Rivers from the 1-yard line. And out to the 16 is all he can get. Knocked down by number 20, Peter Holt, and number 3, Kip Jeffries. Ray Peterson, a redshirt freshman who is from Marshall Faulk's hometown, New Orleans, Louisiana, electrifying the crowd with the 91-yard return and getting Al Luganville excited in the process. It's a new school record, incidentally, for San Diego State, the 91-yard punt return. 1st and 10, Fresno State at the 16. Rivers and Neal behind Dilfer. Rivers, they get the corner block. And coming up very quickly from the secondary, Darrell Lewis, the free safety. But he had to go around the piles to get to Rivers, and it's a good gain on 1st down.
Darrell Lewis has made a lot of tackles. He's had 91 tackles so far this year. And they need him in the lineup because he's a key guy to that defense.
Marshall Faulk has a hyperextended right knee. There he is on the sideline. They're going to take him in for treatment. Whether or not he returns to the game remains to be seen. And that could be a huge factor. Lorenzo Neal, trying to get the 1st down on 2nd and about 3, is going to be close. Jamal Duff, 90, or rather 48, and 92 Leroy Glover on the tackle. San Diego State has Wayne Pittman as Marshall Faulk goes off to the trainer's room to take Faulk's place. Now, Wayne Pittman is a fine running back with excellent speed, but he is not Marshall Faulk.
Well, my experience tells me the way he's walking there that we'll see him back in the lineup.
Yeah, I think they'd probably have to carry him off. Meanwhile, 1st and 10, Fresno State, as they give the inside handoff to Rivers out of the shotgun. And Rivers gets across the 30 to about the 32. And again, Jamal Duff, 48, makes the tackle.
That's the same power sweep. They ran for the touchdown, except this time they ran it off of the quarterback in the backfield. So they run it from a lot of different sets. They'll use 2 back, 1 back, no back, all of them.
He gained 5, so it's 2nd and 5 at the 32. Anthony Daigle now joins Neal in the backfield. And the nose guard, Leroy Glover, jumping off, claiming that he was drawn offside by movement on the Fresno State offensive line. Here's our referee, Bill McCabe. No, they're saying Leroy Glover was incorrect. He was not drawn offsides. It'll be against San Diego State.
Well, those defensive linemen, when they jump off, will always try to do a little officiating. Help those guys out a little bit, you know.
Especially when there might be a penalty on them.
Right, when the penalty's on them. Leroy Glover is a true freshman with tremendous potential in there at middle guard. Glover and Ricks, we have 2 fine middle guards in here. No matter how these defenses play this afternoon, there are 2 fine middle guards in the game.
And there's the game you just saw. Ohio State and Michigan tying.
Offside, 5-yard penalty against the defense. It's just short of the 1st down. It'll be 2nd down.
So it'll be 2nd down now at the 37. And as always, we'll keep you up to date all afternoon on scores of games that have been played and games in progress around the country. Of course, at halftime, we'll have the Prudential halftime report to update you as well. Second down and inches. Anthony Daigle has a first down.
And off to number 2, Anthony Daigle.
Darrell Lewis, the free safety, and again Leroy Glover make the tackle.
Daigle is the quickest of the backs for Fresno State. This is an isolation play into the split end side. The tackle kind of sets up and blocks the man on him. The guard blocks down and the fullback leads through the hole to block the linebacker. And there's no better guy in football, and I know that I've seen this year that you'd rather have do that than Lorenzo Neal.
Well, he not only is a hard runner, but an outstanding blocker. First and 10, play action. Dilfer looking long, but he runs out of time, and Leroy Glover drags him down. 275-pounder from right here in San Diego. Loss of 9.
This is the to fake that off tackle play, and then he had enough time to throw the ball, but the receivers were not open downfield. He tried to get out of there, but Glover was quick enough to catch him. So once you pat that ball 2 or 3 times as you're looking downfield, sooner or later you got to get it delivered. If you don't, a quick team like San Diego State will sack you.
Second down, 19. And now time runs out. I think Fresno State took too much time, and Bill McCabe will confirm delay of game against Fresno State. The Bulldogs will be marched back 5 more yards.
Dead ball foul.
Seemed like when they came out, they weren't concerned about time at all. That 25-second clock ran down and out on them, and they didn't realize what was happening.
Well, a reminder, Monday night, the Washington Redskins invade the Superdome in New Orleans. The city of Cajun cooking will have a red-hot NFC showdown for you. Washington and New Orleans, Monday night, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific time. Monday Night Football here on ABC. Second and 24. Dilfer looking long. Intended for Malcolm Seabron. And Seabron, claiming he was virtually tackled by Gary Taylor, number 23, could not get to the ball. And I think, Coach, there's probably no flag because they ruled an incatchable pass.
Well, that's the way they ruled it, that it was not a catchable ball. Otherwise, you might think that he did trip him. Right there, the hand went out. I'd say he tackled him pretty well there. However, they ruled it a non-catchable ball.
I have to think, from looking at the replay, that had there not been contact, Seabron might have had that pass. But Gary Taylor was falling down. It's probably all he could do, and he got away with it.
Well, he got away with it because he reached out. If he hadn't reached out, then he probably would have had no reason to call it at all.
Now it is 3rd and 24. Is he inbounds? Yes, he is. Tydus Winans makes a fine leaping catch on the sideline. Winans, a junior from Los Angeles, with his first reception, but it is short of the first down, and Fresno State will have to punt it away.
He's getting chased out of the pocket here, right over on the sideline. Winans makes a nice catch of a high ball. All that did was get them a little better position to punt the ball.
Well, here's Derek Mahoney punting to Ray Peterson again under pressure. Peterson's going to call for the fair catch at the 25. So with 5 minutes, 44 seconds remaining, a 37-yard punt. We'll be back. Even though Marshall Faulk has the rest of this game and 1 more remaining in his sophomore season, he is only the 2nd player in college football history to rush for 3,000 yards his first 2 years. The first, of course, Georgia's great Herschel Walker. And Marshall Faulk, of course, is out of the game at the moment. These ladies are not out of the game. These are the alumsies mumsies. And I guess they thought this was going to be a circus today. I'll tell you what, they're not clowning around. Unbelievable. I don't think I've ever seen anybody come to a football game dressed as clowns before. Well, Marshall Falk again out of the game with a hyperextended knee. They are x-raying it and making sure that he is all right. San Diego State has Wayne Pittman in place of him, number 44. They lead 14-7 here in the first quarter. 1st and 10 at their own 25. Pittman gains a yard or two at most. Tackled by Chris Peters, number 52. Here's the diehard starting lineup for the Aztecs. This is the way they started the game with Lowry at quarterback, and Falk was in there at the time. Scott and Williams the wide receivers, and 2 tight ends, Ziegler and Seminole. Up front, Finch, Leomidi at 340 pounds. Alexander Koenig, whose brother is a redshirt freshman for Fresno State. 2nd and 9, Pittman again. Turns on the speed and has the first down. Dragged down and again by Chris Peters, but not before he gains plenty for a San Diego State first down.
Big Leomidi, number 71, the right guard, is blowing out of there on a lead back play. They had everybody hooked along the front, and so they went outside. Pittman went outside and got a big gainer.
Pittman gained 20. Ball just short of a San Diego State 47, 1st and 10. 3 wideouts to the left. Lowry with time. Completing it and dropped. DeAndre Maxwell had it right in his hands. Freshman, a redshirt freshman from Fresno. So he's playing against some guys he might know. Here's the diehard starting lineup for Fresno State's defense with Oliver Ricks, who's an outstanding nose guard, and Surface, the front 3. Valentine, Peters, Crombie, and Smith. Crombie getting the start, and Peters already having a good game. In the secondary with Porter, Burton, Watson, and Johnson. 2nd down 10. Play action. Complete to the tight end, Mark Ziegler, who's out of bounds with a gain of about 12 and a first down. Sam Watson, the strong safety, had the coverage.
They had 2 wideouts to the field, faked to the tailback on the bootleg, and sent the backside end across alone. And he caught the ball just as he went out of bounds for about a 12-yard gain.
1st and 10 now in Fresno State territory at the 42. Tight formation. Pittman banging forward and following that huge line, including Carson Leomidi, for a gain of 8 or 9. Finally, the strong safety, Sam Watson, stops him.
There's Leomidi, the big right guard. They're running right over him as they lead out, give the ball in there to the tailback. This 2 tight end offense, I believe they could line up against Fresno State and run the ball all day.
It's an offense they like, and they're running it again with both Ziegler and Simonek in there. Pittman again. This time he stood up by Peters, who met him right in the hole, but his forward progress may have gotten him the first down.
San Diego wants to establish this run with 2 tight ends, and this big offensive line is much bigger than Fresno State's defensive line. And they're going to be a problem all afternoon when they want to run the ball. I believe they can control the line of scrimmage.
Well, Pittman so far has carried 4 times for 32 yards. And Chris Peters, number 52, has been busy for Fresno State. Pittman again. Again, he has a hole. And he picks up good yardage on first down. A gain of about 6. Earl Oliver, number 66, a big senior from Long Beach, California, on the tackle.
This is the counter play, the backside guard and tackle pulling. The front side blocks down. That's the side to which the play is going. And then they leads right. Here it is. You could see 74 turning up, 73 right behind him. And nobody came up to stick a knife in that play on the corner. If you don't do that, they're going to run it all day.
2nd and 4, Pittman close to a first down. He needed to cross the 20. And again, Chris Peters, number 52, a junior from Redding, California, making the tackle. Timeout. It's close enough that they want to measure, as the ball is just short of the 20.
This drive is contrary to what we've been seeing up till now. I mean, they've decided they're going to do something up front there, and they certainly are doing a good job of controlling the line of scrimmage.
It is just that much short, inches short of the first down.
It also demonstrates that Pittman is more than an adequate replacement for Marshall Faulk. He's a good runner, he's got good power and good speed, and he's shown that in this drive.
Last year, when Faulk was out with an injury for 3 games, Pittman played extremely well for San Diego State. He is a sophomore, as well as is Marshall Faulk. Pittman, a local product from San Diego, at 5'11", 195. Third down and about 6 inches to go. This is the first time that San Diego State has faced a third down situation. And Nick Surface, number 91, drove through there with such a vengeance that you have to believe he thought he was drawn off sides, because he made virtually no attempt to stop. And he was not drawn off sides. Surface at 6'4", 245 out of San Dimas, California.
See, there's no offensive lineman for San Diego moving when Surface blew into the line of scrimmage.
So the 5-yard penalty makes it first down on the 15-yard line, 1st and 10.
Don't be surprised if they fade to stop right here.
No, Pittman. And again, a good hole, and again, he rips off about 5 yards down to the 10. Sam Watson, number 7, making the tackle again in the secondary.
This is that same counter play with the backside guard and tackle pulling. And they clear that thing out, and there's a big hole inside there. That's a tough play. When they block down, you're in, tackle and guard, block down on that side, then you have 2 big linemen pulling out of it.
2nd and 5, Pittman again. This time he goes nowhere. Fresno State really had penetration and refused to be blocked. Earl Oliver, 66, leading the charge.
I believe that's the first time that they really controlled the line of scrimmage, and guess who did it? It was Big Ricks, the middle guard. Zach Ricks, 280 pounds. He also is a heavyweight wrestler, and he uses that leverage and technique in wrestling to play middle guard. He's a 4-year starter and the best football player on their defense.
Fresno State coaches up here on our level, watching and calling the plays. Lowry with good protection fades it into the end zone, but it's too far. Intended for Keith Williams, but it is well overthrown. So it'll be 4th down, and the kicking unit will come on as you look at the San Diego State coaching box. Andy Trackus, who has made 10 of 16 field goals, his longest 45 yards, will attempt this one from about the 18. It'll be a 28-yard attempt. Larry Maxey, wide receiver, is the holder. And it is good. A 28-yard field goal extends San Diego State's lead with just 46 seconds remaining in the first quarter. It is 17-7. The Aztecs leading the Bulldogs. Well, if you're one of the many thousands of people who have ever wondered what Willie Nelson would look like if he were a pirate, I guess this is it. Where are these guys from? First clowns, and now I guess they're banditos of some kind. Man, see anything at this stadium.
I'll tell you, this is exciting. Not just what's happening on the field, but all around you.
Never a dull moment. Michael Ross and Anthony Daigle back to receive Andy Trackus' kickoff. Just 46 seconds remain in the first quarter, and it has been eventful. And again, Trackus puts it deep in the end zone, through the end line, and the touchback will give Fresno State a first down at the 20.
That's a great boost to a defensive team to have a kicker able to kick that ball out like that. You'd like to have the offensive team go 80 yards against your defense every time they want to score.
Marshall Faulk returning to the sideline with ice apparently taped to that right knee. One would think that if he were out of the game, they would have taken his pads off. They have not, so they may be waiting and seeing how he does. First and 10. Ron Rivers has some blockers and gets outside. And very close to a first down near the 30 before he's dragged down by Darrell Lewis. Well, the free safeties had to make a lot of tackles. The safeties on both teams have had to make a lot of tackles.
Well, they have all year. And that's that same sweep play into the split side with the guards pulling. And he runs it extremely well because he cautiously went along there until he found out that he could get outside and then did a good job.
You saw Marshall Faulk on the sideline being talked to and encouraged as we run down the final seconds of the first quarter. And they just get the play off. Bootleg. Dilfer running for the first down, has it, and slides out of bounds as the first quarter comes to an end. 17-7 San Diego State. That's only one quarter. We got 3 of them left.
That's the first quarter, ladies and gentlemen.
Great day for a family outing. There are bigger, more expensive, and nicer boats in San Diego than that one, but probably no family any happier. They may be rowing out to one of those big, nice, expensive boats, too. Marshall Faulk on the bench. And temporarily, and maybe even permanently, depending on how the game goes, out of the game. And what implications might that have for his Heisman aspirations if he does not come back? On first down, Neal. Oh, no, it's Ron Rivers who gets short yardage to about the 34, and it's 34 Robert Griffith who stops him. Rivers has already rushed for over 100 yards. He had 80 on one play, the second play of the game.
Griffith, the dime back, just sat back in there and looked at that. They didn't get a blocker out there on him, so he hit it for a 3-yard gain.
Second down and 7, just short of the Fresno State 35. Lorenzo Neal with a blocker in front of him. Has a first down out to the 45, dragged down by Chad Provençal, number 40. And Josh Coldiron, number 71, is making some big blocks.
In the statistics in the first quarter, they're pretty much even. The only difference is possession time with Fresno, but that punt return right now is the difference in the ball game, and then of course the field goal.
Lorenzo Neal now has carried 5 times for 31 yards. He has it again, and he's trapped in the backfield. Super penetration by Mark Roberts, number 37, who has come a long way in his ability to play linebacker, as he is the one who got Neal in the backfield.
This is your fullback draw play, and I'm sure that there was some sort of a blitz because Roberts took off and was in the backfield just as the ball was handed off. There's one thing about those blitzes, inside blitzes, when you're trying to run a draw play up in there, usually discombobulate.
That's a good football term. Second down and 13. Ron Rivers dragged down by Sean Smith, number 99, as he tried to get outside. He gained about 5. Sean Smith, a junior from Mintola, New Jersey.
There's probably no two teams playing each other, at least today, who could get out of trouble on 3rd and long like these two can.
They've got the offenses for it. It's 3rd down and about 8.5 yards to go. Dilfer going along. Seabron can't get there. Again, he was covered by Gary Taylor, 23. And Dilfer talking to the referee, Bill McCabe. May have been complaining about something, but it's 4th down and long, and Fresno State will punt it away.
As tight as those defensive backs are playing the receivers, it's almost imperative you go for the long one. Although, as you know, you're not going to hit it nearly as frequently as you will a short pass for a first down.
Derek Mahoney to punt. And Ray Peterson, who ran one back 91 yards earlier, gets it at about the same point on the opposite end of the field. Flag goes down. And Ray Peterson may again go all the way. Nope, he won't. He's knocked down at the 40 of Fresno State by Jamie Christian, backup fullback, but 2 flags are thrown back inside the 15. It was a 43-yard punt by Derek Mahoney. Illegal block in the back, which you see so often anymore, Bo, on the punt returns.
Well, it's they push them above the waist in the back. And right there it is. You can see at the top of the picture, and I think there are 2 of them really. And they saw them. You just can't do that. The thing on
the block in the back against the receiving team, half the distance to the goal, first down.
The thing you have to do on punt returns is have speedy guys going back there so that they can get position on the defenders to seal them off from the front. Because the big, slow guys are always behind them, and the only way they can block them is push them, and it's pretty easy to see in the open field.
So San Diego State with the penalty starts inside their 10. Wayne Pittman at running back runs into his own man. And then a couple of Fresno State defenders and gets maybe 2 yards out of it. Gene Smith, number 13 on the tackle with Nick Surface 91.
The thing that happened is that Nick's came in there and knocked him back, forced him to run it, cut back on the play where they had some linemen that were not blocked. So it was a good defensive effort by that forward wall of Fresno.
Pittman again penetration, and again Zach Ricks in there in the backfield. Sometimes, Bo, you can cause problems and make the play without making the tackle, and that's what Ricks has been doing.
The problem is that Fresno has not been doing that. They've not penetrated, they've not charged, they've not stayed in there low. Once they start to do that, they can get more success. When you have a guy like Ricks in there, and he does that, then everything has to break outside of him. Now they have to get a couple other guys doing it, and they'll be all right.
Ricks is 280 pounds, a senior from Vacaville, California. 3rd down 12, out of the end zone. Lowry from the shotgun, incomplete, intended for Larry Maxey. He was covered by Brian Porter, number 28.
Well, that's exactly what that Fresno State defense needed, to get a little confidence to force San Diego 3 and out. He's trying to hit Maxey coming across on a shallow cut here. He's fairly well covered in there, and the ball is overthrown. That ball would have had to be perfectly thrown right over his right shoulder in order for him to catch that one.
Scott Oates' ball back to punt. This is the first San Diego State punt of the day. Under pressure, he gets it away. Charlie Jones is going to throw a lateral pass to Michael Ross, and here he goes. Michael Ross for the touchdown.
That is the only time that Fresno State has ever used a twin safety on a punt return. And so they set it up, and it worked perfectly.
Michael Ross is injured in the end zone as he apparently hurt his foot. But Charlie Jones threw the left-handed lateral pass to Michael Ross, who returned it 40 yards for the touchdown, but is injured.
Here's the twin safety. The ball is caught. He steps forward and then throws it left-handed backward. And really, there was nobody over there who could stop it. Well-executed play.
Linebacker Sean Smith tries to trip him up. Michael's stumbling as he goes into the end zone, and that may be where he hurt his foot.
I think he got hit right before he crossed the goal line.
Well, now he's running pretty good.
And he probably stubbed his toe there. That painful a little bit. Might hurt a little bit tomorrow after he runs more on it today, but it isn't going to take him out of the game.
Well, after a play like that, he's feeling no pain anyway. And now the extra point attempt by Derek Mahoney, if good, could bring Fresno State to within 3 points.
You know, Jim Sweeney told me that these fancy new plays that he put in with 2 weeks to prepare would work. That is one of them that worked.
It worked big time for a 40-yard run back. Michael Ross scores at 17-14, San Diego State. The spats of Michael Ross as he tries to walk off whatever injury happened to his foot or toe after taking that lateral pass and running the punt back 40 yards for a touchdown. Derek Mahoney will kick off as he does the kicking, punting, and all those duties for the Bulldogs. And Darnay Scott back deep to receive as we have a 3-point ball game with 10:42 left in the second quarter. Scott at the 4. And what a play by Neal. Lorenzo Neal on special teams as well. What a player and what a hit.
What a football player. Send him down on the kickoff and he makes the play. He runs, he blocks, he covers, plays special teams. Darnay Scott has great speed, and before he could even get started, Lorenzo Neal was there to make the play.
Wayne Pittman still in at running back for San Diego State. 1st and 10 from their own 13. Pittman has it and goes nowhere. Brad Bell, number 54, penetrating through his block to make the hit on Wayne Pittman.
4 good plays in a row by the Fresno State defense. They just got to keep doing a job like that, and it'll be all right.
Illinois leading Michigan State in the 4th quarter 14-10. Illinois would more than likely be the opponent of the Holiday Bowl WAC champion, which, if San Diego State wins today, would be the Aztecs. Pittman in motion on 2nd down. Lowry incomplete. It was intended for Will Tate, and Ryan Porter, timing it perfectly, picked him off the ground, but no, he didn't time it perfectly, according to the officials, as now they've thrown a flag. And apparently we're going to have a little extracurricular activity after the fact.
I think it was a clean play, and he taunted after the play, which you can't do.
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
You don't stand over and taunt him. See, that's a good play. He made a nice play there. Should have got up and ran back into the huddle. Instead of that, he kicked forward there and whatever else he did. You know, that's a shame, because they had, on this series, they had 2 good plays in a row, and now they're going to be penalized.
The defense for Fresno State on the verge of stopping San Diego State.
Unsportsmanlike conduct against the defensive team. Automatic 1st and 10.
That moves the ball out to the 27. And San Diego State will have it 1st and 10. Brian Porter called for the additional hit after the play. David Lowry has completed just 2 of 5 passes so far for 73 yards. He's to the air again. This time complete. And here goes Keith Williams. Johnson trying to get him out of bounds. Does he? The officials look at each other, and they've got to talk it over. It's a touchdown. Keith Williams snuck the ball inside the pylon as Johnny Johnson looked like he could have bumped him out of bounds earlier. It's a 73-yard scoring pass.
It was the inside man coming in, and they hit him right there on a crossing pattern that was overplayed by Tommy Jones. And by the time he catches the ball between those safeties, he's long gone.
You see Keith Williams drag that ball in his right hand inside the piling. If the ball breaks the plane of the end zone, it's a touchdown. If he does it before he goes out of bounds, Trackus adds the extra point, and Keith Williams goes 73 yards to make it 24-14.
With all of the skill of these receivers, I don't know why you play them so close every down. And that's what happened here. He hit it right in the seam, and they're long gone. Just, they've got to start playing a little more zone coverage.
You might know that Lorenzo Neal is a fine running back for Fresno State, but did you know that he is also the defending WAC heavyweight wrestling champion? He's also ranked 3rd in the entire country in the heavyweight wrestling division. Yes, not only is he quite a football player, as we have detailed for you, he's quite a wrestler. He's quite an athlete, Lorenzo Neal. And since they are receiving the kickoff and not covering the kickoff, he gets a play off. One of the few he gets off during a game. Trackus will kick it off. Anthony Daigle, number 2, and number 20, Ron Rivers, are back deep near the goal line for Fresno State. A 73-yard touchdown pass from David Lauer to Keith Williams. It's 24-14, San Diego State. Daigle at the 13. Breaks through 2 holes and gets it up to about the 34. Larry Maxey in on the stop, along with 22 Leonard Jones. Well, a reminder that the singles final from Madison Square Garden in the Virginia Slims Championships will be tomorrow here on ABC. Martina Navratilova and Monica Seles will go for the championship as Acura presents the Virginia Slims Championships. Coverage from Madison Square Garden beginning at 12:30 Pacific tomorrow afternoon here on ABC. On Rivers, across the 40. Knocked down by Darrell Lewis, the free safety, number 9. Now is Lorenzo Neal, the ball carrier. A gain of about 8 to 42.
That power sweep has been effective almost every time they've run it. It gets 6-8 yards every time.
When you can do that on first down, you're really ahead of the game. That 2nd and short is a nice thing to have as an offense. Lorenzo Neal has the first down and then some as he's into Aztec territory down near the San Diego State 48. Terrell Steen, number 42, and Darrell Lewis on the stop.
The tackle veered on that play right out of the play. I'm not sure that wasn't a busted defense. They blocked it well, but that defensive tackle came inside the tackle and left a huge hole.
Lorenzo gained 10. 1st and 10. Fresno State as they attempt to come back down by 10. Neal again. Hit by Mark Roberts, 37, as he crosses the line of scrimmage, but falls forward for a gain of 1 to the 47. Washington State in a tight one.
Well, a 10-point deficit in a game like this really doesn't mean an awful lot.
No. Not the way these two can put it on the board.
These two teams, Fresno State and San Diego State, know how to play from behind, and they know how to catch up.
Michael Ross in motion. Neal fighting for yardage, tripped up in the backfield. Chad Provençal had the pressure and penetration, but Lorenzo Neal able to keep his feet and move forward. He did get back to the line of scrimmage, maybe even gained a half yard.
Well, they pulled here, but they missed the linebacker. The lead back missed the block on 40. He anticipated him going a little outside. He aimed outside of him, and he came up underneath into the backfield and spoiled the play.
It is 3rd and 8. Fresno State at the San Diego State 46. And timeout now called by Dilfer. 7 minutes, 15 seconds left to play in the first half here in San Diego. Fresno State now has 2 timeouts remaining. And San Diego State, all 3 of theirs remaining here in the first half.
The Aztecs would like to thank Electronic Financial.
We'll take a timeout as well and return to San Diego's Jack Murphy Stadium in just a minute.
California's San Joaquin Valley. At its heart is the growing metropolis of Fresno, home of Fresno State University, a stimulating center of intellectual and cultural activity. With an enrollment of over 19,000 students, Fresno State University offers challenging and innovative programs in the liberal arts and sciences, the professions and applied fields, as well as many specialized areas. Fresno State University, where excellence is a tradition.
Marshall Falk has his helmet, his shoulder pads, his uniform still on, but the report we have received is that he will not play anymore today. He is out of the game with that hyperextended right knee. Number 44, Wayne Pittman, is his replacement. You can see that Wayne's a little banged up with ice on his right upper arm. What effect, if any, if Pittman does not play the rest of this game, will it have on his Heisman aspirations? That, of course, depends a great deal on next week, because San Diego State plays Miami and Gino Torretta next Saturday. It is 3rd down and 8, Fresno State. Dilfer looking to throw. Complete to Michael Ross for the first down. At the 31 of San Diego State, Gary Taylor, 23, had the coverage on Ross. A gain of 15.
What a great throw that was, because as he rolls out here, there's a stunt coming wide that he had to get outside of. And he threw that ball on the run, on the money, to Michael Ross for a first down.
Fresno State down by 10 points, 6 minutes, 50 seconds remaining in the first half. And Fresno State driving. Ron Rivers has a big hole. First down. Ron Rivers will score. A 31-yard touchdown run. And we'll be back, if the extra point is good, to a 3-point game.
That was a great cutback play as he handed the ball off here to Rivers. You could see the pursuit of the defense, and he cut it way back, even behind the linebacker on the weak side, for a touchdown. The problem with that one is the cornerback was right up on the line. The cornerback's up on the line, and they cut it back there. There's nobody there to make the tackle.
Ryan Rowe holds it, and Derek Mahoney kicks it through on the extra point. Now makes it San Diego State 24 and Fresno State 21.
The defenses are definitely overcommitting here, because when you run a play like this and break it out to the backside, and there's nobody in the secondary to get it, the strong safety, John McCartney, was way up on the line of scrimmage as the ball broke back. Somebody has got to be back there to take those cutbacks and make the tackle. And right now, I think in both of these defenses, they're definitely overcommitting, trying to get the other team stopped.
Well, Ron Rivers is having a big day. He has carried the ball just 7 times now. He has gained a total of 140 yards, scored 2 touchdowns, an 80-yarder on the second play of the game, and now a 31-yard run for his second TD.
Well, I did say that a 10-point lead really doesn't mean anything in a game like this.
Not only that, but here we are midway through the second quarter, and we've had 45 points scored already.
Does the scoreboard go to triple digits?
It may have to today if they keep up this pace. Well, we were talking before the game as if we might see one of those 52-48 affairs. So far, it's lived up to that kind of billing. Derek Mahoney will kick it off, and Darnay Scott is back deep to the Aztecs. Darnay Scott at the 3. And again, good coverage by Fresno State. Run out of bounds by Arthur Warren, number 48, as Darnay Scott brings it up outside the 20. Arthur Warren, a senior from Los Angeles. And there's the Aztec. The Aztec has been known to go over on the opponent's sideline and wreak havoc. and said the Fresno State Bulldogs have vowed to do him badly if he comes over.
I wouldn't recommend he does that to Jim Sweeney. I do not recommend it.
From the 24, 1st and 10. Pittman hammering across the 30 as he keeps his feet and picks up a big first down gain. Strong safety Sam Watson, number 7, had to make the stop.
That's the same counter tray or whatever you want to call it. They pull both. They block down, pull. Here comes big 73 Nichols through there. It wasn't a tremendously well-blocked play, but he found enough of a crease to get 8 yards.
Pittman now has carried 12 times and gained 51. 2nd and 2. Play action. Lowry on the bootleg. Flips it to the tight end. Mark Ziegler. Ziegler has a first down and a lot more as he's across the 45 before the free safety Johnny Johnson knocks him down.
This was an excellent bootleg play. Faking the ball in there to Pittman. Rolling out here. It's naked. They really don't have a guard pulling out to protect with him. But the Fresno State defense suckered enough for him to get out there, get it to Ziegler.
It looked like Ziegler was on the ground, got up and made the catch, and I wonder if that was by design.
I've seen that done before, Steve.
Pittman, flags fly as Pittman cannot get outside. Penetration first by Earl Oliver, and then Gene Smith, number 13, finished him off at the 45, but there is a penalty flag down, and we'll look at Bill McCabe. And it is holding against San Diego State. Apparently called on number 74, Mark Koenig, who receives condolences from his Hog friends up front. Koenig's brother, incidentally, is a redshirt freshman for Fresno State and is here, although not dressed to play.
This is the play. They pulled the guards. They had penetration in there as a result of Leah Meady being unable to lead out and hook his man. He ran up into the backfield, forced that ball carrier to bounce outside, and then the Fresno defense recovered and made the tackle.
So the penalty moves the ball back to the 37, where it is 1st and 20. And now, whistle stopping play as Fresno State calls timeout. We have 5 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the first half of play. San Diego State had 3 receivers out to the right side, and the Fresno State defense asked for time. That's their second timeout. They have 1 remaining here in the first half. We'll be back in just a minute.
I'm Al Michaels with an invitation to join us from New Orleans for Monday Night Football. All of a sudden, a very vital game for the Washington Redskins, who are 6-4, led by Art Monk and the Posse, and Wilbur Marshall, who's having an all-pro season. They take on the New Orleans Saints, who come in with a mark of 7-3. Washington, New Orleans, Monday night.
Sunday, put up your feet, grab a snack, a cold drink, and unwind with America's Funniest Home Videos and Otis Day and the Nights.
Kick my heels up, throw my head back,
On America's Funniest People after America's Funniest Home Videos Sunday.
you will.
San Diego State trying to build back their lead at 1 point, 10 points. But Fresno State keeps coming back every time they do. Right now, it's 1st down and 20 for the Aztecs at their own 37. Lowry has lots of time. And he has DeAndre Maxwell for a 1st down at the 40 of Fresno State. Tommy Jones, number 4 on the coverage. But Maxwell, a redshirt freshman from Fresno, with a big, big play.
On this play, the corner ran up on the crossing pattern and left that corner route by the inside receiver wide open. I don't know why he did that, but he took off running on the man who went inside and left a huge gap to be covered out there on that corner route.
It's a gain of 23, 1st and 10. Pittman trying to follow Leo Meany. He gains maybe a yard. before he is driven out of bounds on the near sideline. Earl Oliver did a good job, the defensive end on that side, 66, of clogging it up and holding his ground.
You could see big Liam Eady out here leading this play, kind of running guys out of bounds and pushing them. But the Fresno defense really came up and smothered that one pretty well.
DeAndre Maxwell, you see the Illinois final as they beat Michigan State 14-10. Illinois will go to the Holiday Bowl, and San Diego State will go if they win this game. Lowry over the middle, incomplete. Again, it was intended for DeAndre Maxwell. Brian Porter, 28, running with him stride for stride.
Corner blitz that time, man-to-man coverage. He still had plenty of protection in there to throw it, but he wasn't quite open like he'd want him. Didn't get the ball in.
Those are the numbers of David Lowry so far, and that computes to an average of 35 yards per reception.
You don't have to complete many if you can get that much yardage on one.
Tell you what, that's slinging it. Third down, 10 yards to go. Lowry has Curtis Shear open. Touchdown.
I do not understand why the corner sinks every time, leaves that safety back there on the hash, and lets them run that corner route up in there. 2 times on that drive it happened, and it results in a touchdown for San Diego.
A 39-yard touchdown pass to Curtis Shear, a sophomore from San Jose, who takes it in, running away from free safety Johnny Johnson.
The shotgun formation. Lowry looks down there. You can see the corner clear up there. See him standing 19? There's a huge gap in there for that safety to have to run clear over that. Johnny Johnson had no chance to get over there on that corner route. I don't know whether they're trying to stem that defense into a too deep and they're not getting in position to cover or what, but that's happened twice in that drive.
Lowry made a great throw and hit Curtis Shear right on stride, and here's Lowry's reaction as he sees him scamper down the sideline, and yes, he's in there.
Now you see 19 sink right there. See him? Now he came out and ran the corner route. The safety Johnson on the hash mark cannot get over there in time to cover that. They would be, if they had played the first half in nothing but a cold zone, 3 deep, they would have been 10 times better off than what they're doing here, because that corner route is just tearing them to pieces.
And they'll keep running it until Fresno State does something. San Diego State now got by 10 again. A reminder, coming up at halftime, the Prudential Halftime Report. John Saunders will be along with scores and highlights from all of today's action around the country. Plus, we'll have a feature for you on Fresno State's quarterback and 2 sports star, Charlie Ward. That's the Prudential Halftime Report. Moments away here on ABC. 4:47 to go in the first half. It's back to a 10-point, 31-21 San Diego State lead. Trackus will kick it off, and Anthony Daigle 2, Ron Rivers 20 are back for Fresno State. A 76-yard drive in only 6 plays, less than 2 minutes.
All I can say is wow. 52 points so far in this half.
Rivers will not run it out as he's 2 yards deep in the end zone. First down at the 20 for Fresno State. Well, with Trent Dilfer and a guy who's right there, Ron Rivers, over 140 yards rushing already, the receivers they have, and Lorenzo Neal, you can't ever say that Fresno State's out of the game.
Well,
and it's only the second quarter.
Imagine if Marshall Falk was in here. We just don't have room for him.
Dilfer has only completed 3 of 7 passes for 37 yards. But Fresno State has moved the ball well on the ground. Dilfer on the option. He's dragged down for a gain of 1. And the big nose guard, Leroy Glover, would not be blocked. He's playing extremely well all year long as a true freshman, number 92.
Number 92, Leroy Glover. 8 of 1.
Fresno State almost 200 yards behind San Diego State in passing yardage. Each of these offenses capable and averaging over 400 yards a game. 2nd and 9. Dilfer firing and completing it to number 6, Lee Harris. And Harris has a first down at the 40, where the free safety, Darrell Lewis, number 9, brings him down. It's a gain of 19.
Well, that was a zone defense that time, and they hit it right in the curl pass right into the sideline there for a first down. But at least it didn't go 70.
Pretty bad when a defense can say they held him to a 19-yard play.
Held him to a 19-yard first down.
Well, in this game, that's looking pretty good. 1st and 10 at the 40. Rivers in motion. Lorenzo Neal hammered in the backfield. Ramondo Stallings. The big 6'7", 275-pound junior, number 90, out of Ansonia, Connecticut, in the backfield.
This is a regular draw play to the fullback. Once again, penetration in there by Stallings fouled up the play. When the lineman's set for a draw play, and the guy is penetrating like that, you can't let him just run upfield unless he's outside of where you want to run the ball.
Neal got back to the line of scrimmage at 2nd down and 10. Dilfer completing it for the first down, and again it's complete to Lee Harris. Harris, a junior out of Fresno, tackled by Damon Pieri, number 39.
Dilfer's getting zeroed in there now. He started slowly passing. Now he's starting to hit him. He starts to hit him, and the running game's going the way it is. This is going to be one of the most exciting, high-scoring games you've ever been in, Steve.
Well, certainly, maybe you've ever been in, even though you've been in a lot more of them than I have.
That's for sure. I wouldn't know how to coach in a game like this.
This is not Big Ten football. Dilfer has time, and he pumps and looks long. Incomplete. It was intended for Tydus Winans. Damon Pieri had the coverage, and the pass was overthrown.
Well, when you're hitting that curl into the sideline, sooner or later you got to go out there and put it up deep just to make sure that cornerback doesn't start to crowd you on the curl pass.
Keep that area fertile for
Keep it
later
open
use.
out there. Right.
Second down, 10. Play action. Dilfer going long again. Incomplete. Penalty flag is down. Back near the line of scrimmage as Michael Ross was the intended receiver, and it was Bill McCabe, the referee, who threw the flag. And it is holding against Fresno State. Just to give you a comparison, Coach, Michigan and Ohio State today, they scored a total of 26 points in the game. San Diego State alone has outscored them here in the first half with 31.
Well, the weather isn't as nice back there as it is here.
That's true, too.
That's a big factor.
Yeah, and I think the defenses play a little differently, too. Well, the penalty will be marked off against the Bulldogs, the 10 yards, moving it back inside the Fresno State 40 to the 37. So the spot of the foul was behind the line of scrimmage. This is a hefty penalty. A 14-yard penalty. It's 2nd down and 24 yards to go. Dilfer swinging it out to Charlie Jones, who can't hold on. Well defensed, however, by Tracy Mao, number 58, who was right there in case the ball had been caught.
Tracy Mao, the outside linebacker, just backed into that screen. It was a wide screen here. He threw the ball a little high, almost could have been intercepted. But even if it had been a perfect pass, he'd have been nailed right when he caught it.
So it's 3rd down and 24. Fresno State has been outstanding on third down conversions during the season. Throwing long. Seabron has it for a first down inside the 20. Darrell Lewis, number 9, had the coverage, but Malcolm Seabron ran under a beauty.
What a magnificent throw by Dilfer. Here he fakes the screen, steps back and looks downfield and puts it up and throws a perfect pass to Seabron as he goes out of bounds for a first down. How about converting a third and a country mile for a first down?
Well, it was 3rd and 24. They got 44 yards on the pass play.
I'll take my hat off to him on that one. That was a tremendous throw and catch.
It is now 1st and 10 at the San Diego State 19. Play action, and Dilfer's going to be dropped by Leroy Glover. Glover, a freshman, having a heck of a year and a great game today. In spite of the offense, there have been some fine defensive plays, and Glover's have been among them.
Here it is again. You can see he beat 79 here and got in and made the play. There's tremendous quickness in that youngster, and you can see he's a big, strong middle guard. I think both of these middle guards, as we said before, are going to make some plays for this team.
It was a loss of 11. 2nd down. Dilfer under pressure again, gets it away and completes it to Lee Harris. It will not be enough for a first down. Harry Taylor, 23, made the tackle. But Fresno State is back in business where they have some manageable distance.
Yeah, the outside linebacker came number 40. He got outside of him, and Harris made a tremendous move here to get open. And he zeroed that ball in there, got back a lot of that yardage that they had lost.
And now it's 3rd down and 3. Here they go with the full house T backfield as they run up quickly to the line. They're going to fake the run, however. Dilfer firing it incomplete, intended for the tight end, Marty Thompson.
That's their old T power. They have 4 men on one side of the ball, 2 on the other, and they either run off tackle or power sweep to either side. That's all they do. They run it quickly. This is the first time on the pass. He had him wide open early, and he kept rolling and waiting until they were covered. That's unfortunate because he had him open early. Had he thrown the ball right off of the fake.
Darrell Lewis, number 9, made a good hit on Thompson to prevent the reception. Derek Mahoney to attempt a field goal on a Brian Rose hold just inside the 20. And it is good. A 29-yard field goal by Derek Mahoney with 41 seconds remaining in the half. And Fresno State, although they do not score a touchdown, drives down the field to get the field goal and make it 31-24 San Diego State. It has been some kind of first half, and we'll see what can happen in the final 41 seconds when the Aztecs get their hands back on the football.
That's the first time they jumped into that power T, and they have a lot of success with that because being in an unbalanced line, the defense has to adjust. They do not check at the line of scrimmage. They get up and get down as fast as they can and run the play that's called. The pass play was a great call. The only problem was that Dilfer waited a little bit too long to try to get that ball out there to Anthony Daigle.
Darnay Scott back to receive the kickoff for the Aztecs. Derek Mahoney will kick it off. If they double the output and the score were to be equal in the second half, the final would be 62-48.
I wouldn't be surprised. Seriously.
Darnay Scott at the 6. Almost broke it through. And a good tackle as he crossed the 25-yard line by number 29, Buda Walker.
Darnay is an excellent athlete. He's kind of feeling his way here, looking for that opportunity. Had he not gotten hit by that tackler right there, he might have accelerated right out of there and might have gone all the way.
Buda Walker is a junior wide receiver from Los Angeles. So 35 seconds remain in the half. 1st and 10, San Diego State at the 29. Lowry under pressure will be dropped for a loss at the 26 by big number 93, Demetrius Edwards, who's in there, a sophomore from East Palo Alto, California.
The cornerback to the wide side of the field there, believe it or not, James Burton came in again with the receiver that went inside. I would think with 27 seconds left, we would just play as deep as we could and keep the ball in front of us and let that clock run out here.
San Diego State calls their first time out of the half. They have 2 more remaining, but as you mentioned, Bo, just 27 seconds left on the clock. Of course, a lot can happen when you can go 80 yards on one play, and 27 seconds is a lot of time with these types of offenses.
The one thing about this game, don't take your eyes off the action. You may think they're going to run a little 5-yard play in there or something, and you're going to miss a 50, 60-yard play. You must pay attention, keep your eyes on the field.
Jim Sweeney has been a college coach elsewhere. He's also been in the NFL in between his stints at Fresno State.
There are a couple of his secret plays that he hasn't used yet. He'll probably do those in the second half.
Always has something up his sleeve. 2nd and 10. Nope, 2nd and 13. Pittman on a delay and nowhere to run. Demetrius Edwards, 93, and Zach Ricks, 95, clogging up the middle. Demetrius Edwards in there doesn't play that much, or hasn't in this game, but he's fired up. San Diego State will go without the huddle. 9 seconds remaining. Lowry from the shotgun. Firing it incomplete as Darnay Scott was separated from the football by Johnny Johnson, 25.
Now that's a zone defense, keeping the ball in front of you. Keep your eyes on where that ball is thrown, and when it's thrown, you come up and nail that receiver. That was an excellent play by Johnny Johnson. Now on 4th down here, there it is, because that ball is right on the money. And he came right up and separated him from the ball.
3 seconds left on the clock. Barring a penalty against the defense, this will be the last play of the first half. 4th down as well. And Lowry goes to one knee and is hammered by Zach Ricks, who then gets shoved by Mark Koenig. Now 2 weeks ago, as the bench is empty, Fresno State and the University of Utah had a big brawl. We're having another one now. They're still punching in there. Anybody who's in there without a helmet needs to have their head examined, because their head is going to get hurt.
This makes no sense at all.
They're still fighting.
Absolutely no sense at all.
The Aztec mascot is in there trying to break things up. Kip Jeffries, number 3, is one of the, for San Diego State, one of the guys who really lost it. And things got out of hand in a hurry. All it took, and I don't think Zach Ricks meant anything by it. He was coming and Lowry took a knee.
This is not what college football is all about. It makes absolutely no sense for those 2 benches to empty on that situation.
I would have to think, Coach, as the first half has come to an end, that there may be some ejections on both sides of the ball here.
You know,
let's go back and look at Lowry going back. He looked around for a minute, then he went to one knee. Well, Ricks is rushing the quarterback as he is supposed to do, and he hits him.
There's nothing wrong with that play.
And Ricks is saying, hey, I just came off my block.
There's absolutely no reason for that to have happened.
Then Mark Koenig, if you see at the top of the screen, number 74, Mark Koenig came over and shoved Zach Ricks. And when Koenig shoved him, that's when the bench is empty.
I would certainly hope that both of those coaches dress down these squads for what they did there, because they lost their idea of why they're out there to win a very important game. Here it is again. He should not have done that, but that's not a killer punch.
Now watch Koenig 74 come up and shove Ricks in the face and knock him back. That's when both benches headed for the middle of the field. Other fights began.
See,
and
then
other
he hit.
shoving.
See, then 74 hit him. He had no business doing that.
So they're going to get the football with a 7-point lead as Derek Mahoney kicks it off for Fresno State. And it's taken by DeAndre Maxwell. And Maxwell takes it out to about the 30. Nakawa Shepard, backup safety, knocks him down. Well, there's a little offense, Bo Schembechler, in the first half.
Out is 585 yards total offense, plus 2 kick returns for a touchdown. Fairly equal in stats. Fresno State with possession, San Diego State with the points.
David Lowry in the first half was 6 of 12 for 214 yards on only 12 attempts and 6 receptions. Darnay Scott has his first pass of the second half. And Darnay Scott still going into Fresno State territory, down at the 47 in the grasp of James Burton, number 19.
James Burton, the corner, really laid off of Scott on that play, so they threw the ball in front of him, and he forced them to miss some tackles. You can see the ball was even thrown a little high, but he dodged Burton and did a good job, made a big play out of it by what he did after the catch.
So the half starts with a 24-yard gain, and Wayne Pittman in there for Marshall Falk gains only about a yard. Zach Ricks, number 95, the nose guard, involved in that melee at the end of the first half, unfortunately, made the tackle. And Ricks really an innocent offender, if there is such a word, as he ran into David Lowry, and that certainly was not intentional.
He probably should have pulled up, but it shouldn't have. It wasn't serious enough to cause that penalty.
Incidentally, the word we have is no ejections for that fight. Darnay Scott again. He hauls it in near the 40 of Fresno State. Pulled back by James Burton, who is continuing to shadow him.
It appears that the Fresno State defensive coaches have decided to lay off of those receivers for a bit, and they're now catching the ball in front of them.
Lowry hammered by Nick Surface, number 91, after he released the ball. It is 3rd down and 2, just inside the Fresno State 40. Maxwell and Curtis Shear, the wide receivers, and preliminary movement as Lowry went a long time on that count, maybe trying to draw Fresno State offsides, and he may have succeeded.
Well, the center snapped the ball. Some coaches teach at center that anytime a defensive player gets into the neutral zone, snap the ball immediately and take the 5-yard penalty.
They will get the 5-yard mark off, which will give San Diego State a first down, and move the ball to the Bulldog 35. Bill McCabe, the referee. Looking long. Curtis Shear in the end zone, screened by Johnny Johnson. Shear had to go through Johnny Johnson to get to the ball, and he couldn't do it.
It looked like he might have been able to intercept that ball if he'd have turned around and known where it was. Here you can see Burton chasing him, and there is Johnny Johnson right there. Turn around, might have had a shot at catching the ball himself.
2nd down, 10. Inside Scott inside the 15, still fighting for yardage down to the 9. Sam Watson, number 7, makes the tackle. But Darnay Scott, who's 6'3" and 185, sometimes plays bigger than that.
If James Burton is going to allow them to catch that ball in front of him, he's got to be sure that he makes the tackle. He missed the tackle here, as you can see. Then he's going to end up running the ball for long yardage.
It's a gain of 25, and it is 1st and goal at the 9. Play action, Lowry bootlegs, chased by Surface, and Surface knocks the pass down.
That was a great play by Surface. Yeah, that was a great play by Surface. He came up there and contained the rollout, got his hands up and knocked it down. He can run for a defensive lineman. He's not real big, but he can run. Here you can see as he puts his hands up, he knocks it down. I don't know who he's trying to throw back to there, but Surface knocked it down anyway.
So it's 2nd and goal, still at the 9. Lots of time looking for somebody open, incomplete, intended for Larry Maxwell. Or Maxey, I should say. Johnny Johnson again, 25, had the coverage on Larry Maxey.
Fresno State was fortunate there. They got no pressure whatsoever on the passer, and you let them run around that end zone for that length of time, and the chances are they're going to find somebody that's open.
2 tight ends in. And one of them stayed in the block for San Diego State.
Actually had him there, and the ball went through his hands. It was a difficult catch, but it was possible that he could have caught it.
3rd and goal at the 9. Lowry looking in the corner again. DeAndre Maxwell can't hold on. James Burton with the coverage as he and Maxwell fighting for the ball. So the field goal team will come on, and Andy Trackus will attempt.
Down on the goal line, you got to get turned around here. Here you can see this is the wide receiver trying to get the ball out there. Burton did a good job getting his head around quickly enough to know where the ball was and knock it down.
Andy Trackus out of Larry Maxey's hole. Well, spotted at about the 17. And it is perfect. 27-yard field goal by Andy Trackus extends San Diego State's lead. 34-24, a lot of time left. San Diego State goes 62 yards in 9 plays. A long drive from the standpoint of time. It took almost 3 minutes. Ordinarily, these drives have been taking about 30 seconds.
It was a long, laborious drive.
2 minutes and 50 seconds.
Darnay Scott had some great catches there and runs after the catch.
He did. Anthony Daigle, number 2, and Ron Rivers, number 20. Back to receive Andy Trackus' kick. Trackus moves it near the goal line. Rivers has a hole. Gets it out to about the 39. A fine return by Ron Rivers. Leonard Jones, 22, a freshman, runs him down. Boy, it's been a big day for Ron Rivers with all of his yardage.
We could set a record, too, for return yardage on kicks. Both kickoffs, punt returns, really done a job. Here he gets some good blocking, makes some cuts, gets out almost to the 40-yard line. They set up a wedge in front of him there, and then they split out and block. He finds the crease.
So now it's Dilfer and company to have the chance to do it. Here goes Anthony Daigle. Still going. Inside the 30 of San Diego State. Finally hauled down by Robert Griffith, number 34.
That's the old counter tray. There's a huge hole in there. He came ripping out there for big yardage. I can't believe how they get into the secondary so often, and that we don't have the secondary backs tackling them for at least 10, 12-yard gains rather than these huge, long runs.
That one was 32 yards by Daigle. First and 10 from the 28 of San Diego State. Dilfer firing it and completing it to Lee Harris. Harris down to about the 21 in the grasp of Gary Taylor, 23.
Once they get down in there on a pass like that, if you play deep, they hit it in front of you. If you come up and crowd them, they'll fade it over your head.
Now Luganville continuing to pace. Dilfer now 8 of 15 for 136 yards passing. Seabron in motion as they give it to Neal. And Lorenzo Neal has a first down as he's inside the 15. Fresno State coming back. More football coming up next weekend, and next weekend is a long one. It begins on Thanksgiving on Thursday with Auburn in Alabama. That's at 10 Pacific time. That's followed on Friday by Nebraska, Oklahoma, the Big 8. So celebrate Thanksgiving in a big way with ABC Sports. 2 big games, Thursday and Friday. I haven't even told you about next Saturday. Dilfer on first down, fading it into the end zone and incomplete. And Michael Ross wants a flag because he feels like Gary Taylor held him up. But the pass really wasn't that close.
Well, they sent the outside receiver in on a smash, what they call a smash route, and run the corner with the inside receiver, and he just couldn't get away from Gary Taylor to catch the ball. It's a good play down there on the goal line. It's been a very effective pass.
Now it's second down, 10. From the 14. Anthony Daigle, as flags fly, is dropped for a 1-yard loss. Both the line judge and the head linesman threw flags on the snap. Bill McCabe says it's against San Diego State. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I would think so. It is.
Damon Pieri, number 39, was dancing into the backfield at the time the ball was snapped.
They really frown on defensive players lining up there.
Well, Bill McCabe's microphone either is not adjusted properly or failing to work. San Diego State's defense under the gun again. Fresno State coming right back as they now have second down and 5 from the 9. Neal and Lorenzo Neal short of the first down, but down to the 5 in the grasp of Tracy Mao, number 58. Fresno State has been extremely good at scoring once they get inside the red zone or inside the opponent's 20-yard line. They have scored 43 times in 46 attempts coming into this game. Now they're going with a full house tee real quick. They run up to the line, they snap it, and Daigle has the first down as he gets near the 3.
That's the whole theory of that formation, is on short yardage and goal line situations, line up quickly while they're moving to adjust the unbalance and run it in there. You can see you don't get a lot of yardage, but you almost consistently get 1 or 2.
He got 2, and that was 1 more than he needed. Here they go again with the full house tee backfield. Lorenzo Neal hammering. Is he in there? Apparently stopped just short. He made it to the goal line, but not beyond.
That's a powerful off-tackle play, this time to the short side, to the 2-man side. You can see the defense was lined up inside, and with a hard-running guy like Lorenzo Neal, you're right down in there close.
Mark Roberts, 37, and Sam Williford stopped him, and they're going for it again. Daigle will dance in for the touchdown.
If you dive inside on the off tackle, they go out around on the sweep. That's what they did there to the 2-man side of that power T formation.
An impressive drive by Fresno State, and this 1-yard run by Anthony Daigle caps it. The Bulldogs come right back. Derek Mahoney now will attempt the extra point. It is perfect. 8:34 to go in the third quarter. It is now San Diego State 34, Fresno State 31. It was some kind of game last year for San Diego State against BYU. Darnay Scott caught this 75-yard touchdown pass. After only 2 minutes of play, the score was tied at 7, and it looked like the scoreboard was in for a workout. It was. The 14th and final touchdown of the game came on this Willis 5-yard run, tying the score at 52 all. BYU was the WAC champion. The scoreboard has also had a workout today, as it is 34-31 Aztecs here in the third quarter. We're not even halfway through the third quarter. That 52-52 may be in jeopardy. 104 points scored in that game last year. That knocked San Diego State out of the WAC championship to tie. And here, Fresno State trying to see if they can keep the Aztecs out of the Holiday Bowl again. Keith Williams will bring it from the goal line. Tripped up. And a fine play. Number 31 is Jamie Christian, the backup fullback. And what special teams play we've seen from the Fresno State running backs.
Also, Steve, this game has been pretty well played from the standpoint of turnovers. There haven't been any turnovers whatsoever. The offenses have played flawlessly in that regard. You might find some criticism of the defenses, but nevertheless, it is a mistake-free game so far.
Well, that's why we've had all that yardage and 65 points scored. The offense has played well. Wayne Pittman still in there for Marshall Falk. Pittman still going. Across the 40 to the 41. Chris Williams, 45, finally got him down along with Sam Watson.
That was the counter try again. You can see the wing back, everybody blocking down. Here comes big Liamete coming through there. The guard got on the corner. There's a big hole in there, and they're not tackling very well there in the secondary because they should have gotten him down a lot sooner.
It's a gain of 25. And Pittman does a good job of keeping his feet underneath it when he's hit, bouncing off. Pittman again. This time the pile doesn't move. He runs into the back of Stigler, his own blocker. But he still gains about 4 or 5 across the 45. Zach Ricks, the nose guard, stayed with him to make the stop.
Big Ricks, the middle guard, stood up the center. That's why there wasn't they didn't knock that line back out of there. Here's number 7, Liamete, gets a good block here on Bell, but Ricks once again stood his ground, and they held him to 4.
How do you run around, a block from a guy who's 340? He takes a while.
Move quickly.
Pittman banging ahead. Will be stopped about a yard short of the first down as it gets to the Fresno State 49. Again, strong safety, Sam Watson, number 7, along with Arthur Warren. Miami leading Syracuse in the third quarter, 16-0. Gino Torretta having a pretty good day, and A&M finally pulling away a little bit. Look at this, Washington State all over the Washington Huskies, 28-7. And of course, the Michigan-Ohio State game you saw earlier, Florida winning at Vandy. Third down 1. Larry Maxey fumbles the football, but San Diego State recovers. It'll be a first down at about the 47 as Maxey fumbled the ball forward.
This is a third down, short yardage play. He got hit into the backfield. Then once he started to run with the ball, he got hit on the other side and fumbled. That's the first fumble of the game. Fortunately for San Diego State, they recovered their own fumble.
It looked like Kurt Collins or Zach Smith, one of the two tight ends, may have made the fumble recovery. It was hard to see. But it is a San Diego State first down, and they said
I'm not so sure they want Maxey running that ball a lot, Steve.
No.
He hasn't worked there.
No, he doesn't. Lowry's pass thrown into the ground in front of Darnay Scott as it was tipped at the line of scrimmage. You talked about the lack of turnovers, Bo. San Diego State has not fumbled and lost a fumble in the last 6 games.
Well, that's terrific, and that's good coaching. You have to coach that to get that done. Otherwise, you're gonna have fumble.
And you think about it, wide open offenses they have, a number of times they've run the ball.
Right.
That's amazing. Second down, 10. Lowry under some pressure, intercepted. Picked off by Tommy Jones, and Lowry makes the tackle in disgust. Well, all you got to do is talk about turnovers, and they seem to have.
And all of a sudden, we get 2 quickly. What happened is he had a lot of time back there. As you can see, he stands there, throws out there late. Tommy Jones jumps in front of that, and then takes off. Gets down to about the 38. Now, that turnover could be real costly because once they get in this time, they haven't had a lead yet. And if Fresno State can get a lead, maybe a different ball.
That was Tommy Jones' 5th interception of the year as Ron Rivers bangs through the middle inside the 35. Robert Griffith and Chad Trobensall on the tackle. Ron Rivers with a chance to set a personal best rushing, and Tommy Jones with interception number 5 gives Fresno State a chance to take the lead for the first time. They are down by 3.
He's not an interception quarterback. That was bad judgment on his part, but he doesn't do that very frequently.
Timeout now is called by Fresno State as Trent Dilfer seemed to be unclear about the play call. Stops the clock with 5:22 remaining in the 3rd quarter. A 3-point San Diego State lead is in jeopardy. The Aztec Bowl on the campus of San Diego State University was the Aztecs' home field for over 30 years. However, with a capacity of only 12,500, the Aztecs were forced to move in 1967 to the then brand new San Diego Jack Murphy Stadium. San Diego Jack Murphy Stadium, just a little different than the Aztec Bowl. But one thing that's pretty consistent, and that is the way head coach Al Luganville approaches a game. And whether they were playing in the Aztec Bowl or in this beautiful stadium, he would still be walking. I wonder how many miles and how many pairs of shoes he goes through in a season. He's nervously pacing now. It's 2nd and 5. Fresno State after the turnover has it at the 34 of the Aztecs. Dilfer completes it for a first down. Malcolm Seabron all the way down to the 15.
Dilfer saw the man coverage, checked into that pass, got the ball out there for a big gainer.
Good play by Darrell Lewis to make the tackle in the open
Save
field.
the touchdown, right?
Malcolm Seabron, the leading receiver for Fresno State. That was a gain of 17, and Seabron, by the time this game is over, maybe close to 1,000 yards receiving on the year. Rivers hammered by Mark Roberts as he crossed the line of scrimmage. Roberts, number 37, holding him to short yardage, if any gain at all.
They're fortunate to get Roberts over there because they had trouble in their alignment there, and Fresno State brought the tight end across in motion. They had a crease there, but the linebacker came in and made the play.
Roberts goes out of the game as they bring in yet another defensive back. 2nd down, about 9. Rivers trying to get outside, will not. Tracy Mao drags him down. Once again, we remind you the finals of the Virginia Slims Championships tomorrow here on ABC will feature Martina Navratilova and Monica Seles as Acura presents the Virginia Slims Championships from Madison Square Garden tomorrow beginning at 12:30 Pacific time here on ABC Sports.
Steve, both these coaches realize when they get possession now, they have to get points.
Yep, because if they don't, the other team will. 3rd and 11 into the end zone. Seabron, touchdown. Malcolm Seabron beat Gary Taylor and made a fine catch of a very well-thrown ball by Dilfer.
That's that goal line corner route again. As you can see, the inside receiver here heads out for the corner, and the outside receiver just sits there to keep that corner up, and he beats Gary Taylor into the corner for a touchdown.
What a throw by Dilfer. He put it perfectly where it couldn't be touched by the defender, but caught by Seabron. A 17-yard touchdown pass, and Derek Mahoney adds the extra point, and Fresno State leads for the first time today. It is now 38-34. The Bulldogs have come back with 3:29 remaining in the third quarter. I tell you what, these guys are either going to be dead or in real good shape by the time the game's over.
The outside receiver just smashes on the line of scrimmage, stays right there. And Seabron runs that corner route beautifully, but that had to be an accurately, perfectly thrown pass to lay it in there. Dilfer is having quite a game here today, Steve, and is proving why Coach Sweeney has called him the best quarterback in the WAC conference.
And there he is, Trent Dilfer. It was a 38-yard drive following the interception by Tommy Jones, his 5th of the year, and a 17-yard pass from Dilfer to Seabron for the touchdown. Darnay Scott back to receive the kickoff. San Diego State's been tough in the second half. They've outscored their opponents 163 to 116 overall this year. But they have been outscored here in the second half so far 14 to 3.
Only because of their own mistakes. Until that time, we had a mistake-free ball.
Darnay Scott to the 23.
Then all of a sudden they start to turn the ball over and give Fresno a chance to go ahead. San Diego State will get this offense rolling again. Believe me, Steve, plenty of time, and they're capable of doing that against Fresno's defense.
Dilfer talking to his offense on the sideline as San Diego State takes over. Wayne Pittman is still in the game at tailback for the injured Marshall Falk, who went out in the first half with a sprained knee. X-rays were negative, but they are holding Marshall out. From the 23, Pittman tripped up before he could really get out of the backfield. Looked like Gene Smith, number 13, got the penetration.
Gene Smith dived under Carson Limoniti. As he kicked him out, he dived underneath, reached out, tripped him.
Gene Smith, a redshirt freshman from Lemoore, California. Fresno State has 3 or 4 guys from Lemoore, California on their team. 2nd down 9. Complete to Darnay Scott, who may be held short of the first down by about a half yard. Tackle made by Brian Porter, 28.
That was an in route by the wide receiver, Darnay Scott, right in front of the corner. You can see him catch it here. He gets hit by the safety, just short of the first down.
Ball just short of the 33. They need to get to about the 33 and a half. And jumping off sides was number 93, Edwards, and Lowry's going to take the free play. Demetrius Edwards jumping into the neutral zone, may have even made contact, and Lowry wisely just took the ball and ran around in.
First out of bounds, number 7, Watson.
Well, when you get a free play, you got to take it. any way you can.
Demetrius Edwards just jumped offside, hit the center here, and Lowry very wisely just took the ball and ran around left end because the center snapped the ball immediately to make sure that the official called the penalty.
Jim Sweeney working on the side judge. Trying to get a few points.
Oh, he can work an official with the best of them.
15 yards and first down for Lowry. He has to run out of the pocket and is hauled down by Steve Kasner, a linebacker, a redshirt freshman out of Vacaville, California, who was blitzing on the play.
Both of these quarterbacks have had good time to pass. He goes back here and he's not open when he wanted to throw. Decided to run with the ball, but all the lanes were covered in there by Fresno defenders and he couldn't get out.
That's the second time Lowry has been sacked. This time a loss of 3, so it's 2nd and 13.
But basically the protection on both sides has been good.
Washington State all over Washington, 35-7 in the third. Pittman. And he won't go anywhere. Coming up very quickly, Nick Surface, number 91, and number 7, Sam Watson. And it may be.
Fresno's calling for a fumble, but
I think we've got an injured Fresno State player. And the officials are talking about it. Surface getting up slowly. He may have thought that he did have the football, but stripped after Pittman was ruled to be down. He gained 2, so it's 3rd and 11.
Now this is where Al Luganville wants to get a first down. He knows that if he has to turn that ball over, look out. Got stripped of the ball there, as you can see, but they still retain possession.
From the shotgun. Incomplete, in and out of the hands of Curtis Shearer. Coverage by 19, James Burton. And it'll be 4th and 11, and San Diego State will give up the football, trailing by 4.
Here's the play. You can see it's a one-on-one situation. He goes in with a catchable ball right in his hands, and he dropped the ball. You know, as great as these receivers are for San Diego State, they are prone on occasion to drop the ball. They did it in their loss to Wyoming, and they've dropped a couple passes here today.
Charlie Jones is back to receive the punt. A very poor short punt that turns out to be a lot better, as it really took a San Diego State bounce, stayed in bounds, and rolls dead inside the 5. A 44-yard punt by Oatsvall. Inside the 10, I should say. 36 seconds remaining in the quarter. A reminder. Well, here, let's look at it again.
He did a good job of avoiding the punter. That would have been a mistake had he called roughing there. Because that youngster did a good job trying to avoid it.
At the conclusion of today's game, we're going to be selecting the Chevrolet Most Valuable Players of the game from each team. And for the 22nd year through the Chevrolet Scholarship Program, $1,000 will be donated to the General Scholarship Fund of each school in the name of those players. 1st and 10, Fresno State, just inside their own 10. Ron Rivers trying to get outside, and he cannot. Mark Roberts, again with another big play, a sophomore out of Bakersfield, whom the defensive coaches say has improved as much as anybody on this team.
Roberts has been a game saver on several occasions. When it looked like a play was blocked, he's going to get out. All of a sudden, he comes and makes the tackle for a short gain.
Ron Rivers gained only 2. So it's 2nd down and 8, and I think the quarter is going to expire. Fresno State will let it run out with just 5 seconds remaining. And that is the end of the third quarter with a score. Fresno State coming from behind 38. San Diego State 34. Will return with more action and with this message and a word from our ABC station. Welcome back to San Diego. Steve Zabriskie and Bo Schembechler with you as we start the fourth quarter of play in what has been, as advertised, an offensive showcase of both teams. Al Luganville and San Diego State leading for 2.5 quarters. But the only turnover of the game has led to a touchdown on the part of Fresno State that has given the Bulldogs the lead for the first time, 38-34. So with 15 minutes to go, Fresno State has the ball back, but it is second down and about 7 yards to go. They are at their own 12-yard line. Play action. Dilfer under pressure gets it away. Incomplete. He tried to get it to the tight end, Marty Thompson, who was double covered. And it'll bring up 3rd and 8.
Coverage was excellent on that. All the receivers were covered as he bootlegged out of there. He had good time to throw it. It's a little harder to do it going to your left. He got hit just as he threw it. The ball was somewhat on the money, but there was he was very well covered. So now we have a big 3rd down play.
Tracy Mao, 58, and Sean Smith, 99, got Dilfer in the sandwich. The San Diego State fans exhorting their defense on 3rd and 8. And time runs out. The 25-second clock runs out on Fresno State. That's the second time today that they've had the clock run down. Did they call timeout in time?
I think he might have got the timeout called in time, but even at that, the Bulldogs have now wasted 2 timeouts in the first half. And in this type of game, you would like to go to the latter part of the 4th period with 3 timeouts in your pocket.
Well, they only have 1 remaining. You remember we talked last year about San Diego State's tie with BYU, where they let BYU come back after leading big and lost the WAC championship with a 52-52 tie. We asked head coach Al Luganville what they would do differently this year in that situation.
2 things we would do differently. We would make sure that we use the clock better offensively. And I truly believe that our defense would play much like it did against Hawaii last week when we got up in the 3rd quarter. I think they will stand up and really get big. And
well, they're going to have to. And it is a big play right here. 3rd down, 8. Rivers and Neal in the I formation behind Dilfer. Dilfer runs out of time and throws it long. Seabron, no! Interference. Gary Taylor called for pass interference. And Fresno State will have a 1st down.
It looked like a great play by Gary Taylor. This is a play-action fake. He runs forward and throws the ball just as he's hit. Apparently, Taylor hit him in the back just as the ball was coming down. That's a very, very close call.
Well, they replayed it on the big screen here at the stadium, and that's the reaction of the crowd as they boo the officials. It looked marginal at best.
Pass interference, 15-yard penalty against the defense, 1st down.
Regardless, it was a great play for Gary Taylor.
It was. That was the 5th penalty against San Diego State for a total of 40 yards. But Taylor, if you want to look at it from San Diego State's point of view, may have prevented a touchdown and given them a 15-yard 1st down instead. Ron Rivers gets around the corner. 1st down. Finally run out of bounds by Darrell Lewis on the far side. What a day for Ron Rivers, who has a new career high rushing. His previous high had been 149 yards. He had 140 in the first half. Here are the 3rd quarter statistics.
Well, as you can see, the total yardage is about even. The score is very close. The only difference between these 2 teams, little possession time, which really doesn't mean much, and that 1 turnover that gave Fresno State an opportunity to take the lead.
San Diego State has called timeout with 14:39 remaining in the game. They trail Fresno State 5-4. We'll be back. Welcome back to San Diego Jack Murphy Stadium. 14:39 remaining in the game. San Diego State had called a timeout with Fresno State leading by 4 points and having a 1st and 10 at their own 45. Ron Rivers of Fresno State, 12 carries, a new career high, 162 yards rushing. Anthony Daigle for a couple to about the 47. Hauled down by Leroy Glover. Better yet, thrown down.
Thrown down.
Leroy Glover.
Glover, the middle guard, caught him from behind. There was a hole there, and you had an opportunity to get out. Glover's just too quick, beat his man, and caught him from behind.
An impressive freshman, 275-pound Leroy Glover, number 92. Second down, 8 for Trent Dilfer. Catch. Boy, Lee Harris has made some big plays himself. It's a first down, Fresno State inside the 30. Damon Pieri had the coverage, but Harris leapt over him to haul it in.
That was a man-to-man blitz. You can see the man coverage here. It's a fade route is what it is. He slowed down and caught it back over his backside shoulder. That happens very frequently when you're running side by side. That receiver can come back over the shoulder and make that catch.
A 25-yard gain, 1st and 10. Anthony Daigle spinning and breaking a tackle and getting down inside the 25. Tracy Mao, 58 on the stop for San Diego State. Let's see what else is happening in the WAC. BYU beat Utah in the annual battle in that part of the world, 31-22. Colorado State over New Mexico. Wyoming and Hawaii play later. Now, the BYU victory and a Hawaii victory over Wyoming would come into play if Fresno State wins this game. And they are leading at this point by 4 points over San Diego State. Hawaii and BYU are still in the hunt if San Diego State loses today. Daigle bent over backwards, and maybe no gain on the play as he's hit right at the line of scrimmage by Mike Burns, number 56. Jamal Duff also there. Burns, a redshirt freshman from Yorba Linda, California, just up the road in Orange County, south of Los Angeles.
Well, even the field goal would put them 7 up. But it'd be much better if they could go 11.
It is 3rd down and 6. Dilfer has time. Intercepted. Picked off by Darrell Lewis. And Lewis out to the 25. Big play for San Diego State.
I have to believe that he thought that Charlie Jones was running the post. Jones did not come inside. He threw the ball right to the safety. That's the play there. There's no other reason for that other than Dilfer felt that number 24, Charlie Jones, was going to run the post. He didn't do it, and he ended up throwing the ball right to the safety.
The second turnover we've had in this game, won by each team. Leads them up 1st and 10. San Diego State down by 4 points. Lowry going long. Puts it up for Darnay Scott. Tipped. Incomplete. There were 3 players who could have had a chance for it, and then James Burton, number 19 of Fresno State, maybe had the best shot.
Well, it was a deep pass. It was thrown short. And when that happens, there's always the possibility of the interception. They're all in position to catch it. Tried to get the rebound. None of them were able to do it.
So it'll be 2nd and 10. 11:57 remaining in the game. Trent Dilfer on the phone on the Fresno State sideline. Play action pass. Lowry rolling. Runs out of time, fumbles the football. Nope, they rule it an incomplete pass as Gene Smith Number 13 hit him.
What a great play by Smith as he's chasing the play on the bootleg pass. Big Limonetti out there in front of him blocks, but here comes Smith. When he accelerates right there and he tries to throw the ball, he stuffed that play. That was a great play by Smith.
He had Alex Semenek, number 87, the tight end, in front of him, to whom he apparently was trying to get the ball. Lowry, 10 of 25 for 279 yards. Flags fly. Little illegal procedure. Looked like Chris Finch, number 67, on the offensive line for San Diego State, moved before the snap.
Dead ball foul. Full start. 5-yard penalty against the offense. 3rd down.
Finch is a redshirt freshman out of Riverside, California, at 290. Third down, 15. Lowry runs out of time. Nick Surface. And pressure from Demetrius Edwards forced him out of the pocket, and Nick Surface wrapped him up. That's the 3rd sack of Lowry today.
That was a great series by the Fresno defense. After losing the opportunity to score down there with the interception, they came up big and shut down San Diego and forced this punt, which means they'll get field position again.
Scott Oatsball is on to kick, and Charlie Jones, number 24, has dropped back for Fresno State at about his 45. Low snap, bobbled, but Oatsball gets it away. A line drive. Jones from the 47, tripped up and knocked down at the San Diego State 46. A punt of 38 yards. We have 10:59 left to go in the game. Fresno State has the ball back, and they lead by 4 points. Welcome back to San Diego. As it is a magnificent afternoon, we have seen a lot of football, but there's still a lot of time left. 11 minutes almost remaining. Fresno State has come from behind to lead by 4, and Trent Dilfer talking to his offense as they have the ball in San Diego State territory. Look at that yardage. Over 800 yards total offense so far.
We used to say that any time we'd scored 24 points, we'd win.
Not in the WAC. Ron Rivers for very short yardage.
Tracy Mao did a great job playing off the block of Lorenzo Neal and making that play.
The subplot of this game remains Marshall Faulk's inability to play. He started off big, 17-yard run his first carry. Early in the ball game, sprained a right knee. X-rays were negative. They've iced him up. They've held him out. What will it do to his Heisman Trophy hopes, and how is it affecting the fact that San Diego State is trailing? The pass intended for Michael Ross overthrown, and incomplete. Gary Taylor had the coverage.
Fresno State hurried to the line of scrimmage, snapped the ball, hopefully to catch that cornerback napping, and let Michael Ross run in behind him for the fade. Unfortunately, he overthrew it. Right there, he gets hit just as he throws the ball, and I believe that's Tracy Mao again.
Who it is, right in his face. There's Marshall Faulk on the sideline, still dressed, still walking, and still perceptibly limping. 3rd and 10. Dilfer rolling away from pressure, now being chased and run out of bounds. It looked like he stepped out of bounds, but he's coming back the other way. The ball comes loose, but Rivers falls on it. What a play. I thought Dilfer had stepped out of bounds with 1 foot on the other side. He ran about 100 yards and wound up losing 10.
Well, that's that same play where you roll out to the left and have to turn your shoulders to throw. He does a great job, athletic job, getting out from under being pinned on the sideline. But right here, brother, when that ball comes squirting out of there, fortunately, Rivers was able to recover.
Sean Smith causing the fumble, number 99. Ray Peterson takes a booming punt at the 6, and he is dropped immediately by Nick Surface. Nick Surface having a heck of a game, even on special teams. And what a punt by Derek Mahoney, a 49-yarder. And Surface with the big coverage will keep San Diego State deep in their own territory as they trail by 4. 9:21 left to go. We'll be back. Hardly any wind in San Diego's Jack Murphy Stadium. That has not been a factor today. San Diego State has not had Marshall Faulk's availability as much of a factor either. And right now, they are 90 yards away and down by 4 points with 9:21 to go in the game. 90 yards away, perhaps, from going to the Holiday Bowl. This half, Lowry is only 4 of 13 passing. The absence of Marshall Faulk, a big factor. Pittman trying to get outside. He'll gain just about 2 or 3 yards is all. Chris Rockwell, number 98, the defensive end, a sophomore out of Oroville, California, stayed with the play. And here is Marshall, and Bo, it really has to put a lot of pressure on that passing game with him out of there.
Well, it does, and you look at San Diego backed up here. I'm sure they wish they had him in there because it would make a difference in their running game. But they still scored 34 points with 9 minutes to go, so anything can happen.
Lowry on second down, firing and completing it short of the first down. And being knocked back is Curtis Shear. James Burton with the hit. They're going to mark it at just about the 20. It'll be about a yard short of the first down. Third and 1. Almost 2 yards for the first down, about a yard and a half. Pittman, he won't get it.
There comes a time in football, Steve, where you're much better off if you have 2 backs in the backfield so you can have a lead back. But in this offense, where they always won a 1 back, when you get 3rd and 2, sometimes it's tough.
And Pittman is still down. Boy, this could be huge for San Diego State if Pittman can't go. And Falk has already got a bad knee. Pittman apparently is injured enough that the trainers have motioned to the sideline for some additional help. They want a stretcher. Al Luganville out there to check out the situation. Pittman with 90 yards rushing on 22 carries today.
Here's 3rd and short with 2 tight ends. They lead out to the right to run in there. But as you can see, number 95, Ricks, comes off the block of the left guard and gets in there and stops the play. He must have gotten bent back there. There's somebody on his leg right now. And
I think it's Ricks.
And that might be a serious injury.
Got 280 pounds on that leg. And they're getting out a little portable splint.
There may be a broken bone in there.
Yeah, apparently that's what I would think. Could be a broken leg.
Well, that's too bad because now it's certainly too bad for Pittman because they're going to need him. He's an important player for them. And now I don't know who's going to play tailback.
Well, I wonder if they will go to Marshall Faulk, because if you remember the interview we had at the beginning of the first half with the San Diego State trainer, he said that Marshall Faulk, we were going to take it quarter by quarter, that he was feeling better, that he was moving around. We'll see if, in fact, they want to take the chance here. If they lose this game,
here it is again. You can see him running in here. Right there is where he goes down, and he gets hit. You can see that leg bent back right in there, and that is serious, and that's too bad.
Well, the trainers knew immediately when they got to Pittman that they needed help, and they immediately signaled to the sideline, and then had to signal again for a stretcher. Marshall Faulk talking to David Lowry. Well, a reminder, the next Saturday here on ABC, get ready for the high-stakes excitement of golf's most entertaining event. And some of the biggest names will be at the Bighorn in Palm Desert, California. Masters champion Fred Couples, U.S. Open winner Tom Kite, the Shark Greg Norman, and defending champion Payne Stewart. Shoot it out in the Skins game. It'll begin next Saturday at 12:30 Pacific time right here on ABC Sports. If they decide to keep Marshall Faulk on the sidelines, they would probably go to Larry Maxey, who carried once in this game and fumbled, and has carried now a total of only 4 times this year.
Well, I was out at practice on Thursday, and I don't recall Larry Maxey running a lot of plays from the tailback position.
Nope, he's ordinarily used as a wideout, or what is termed in San Diego State's terminology the H-back, like a wing-back position, but really it's a wide receiver. He is and has in the past, he is capable and has in the past carried the ball out of the backfield. Pittman, unfortunately, seriously injured. 8 minutes, 28 seconds remain in this game. We'll run down scores of other games for you in the top 20. Well, BYU won today over Utah, so they are 6-2 in the WAC. San Diego State would be 6-2 and go to the Holiday Bowl if they win this game. Hawaii plays later. They are 5-2, but San Diego State beat Hawaii last week. Fresno State, with a win, has hopes of going to a bowl. Would probably not be the whole Holiday Bowl, but if Fresno State does not win this game, they will not have enough victories to qualify for any bowl game.
Well, it would be a huge win for Fresno State. They have not been a good road team. I think they're 1-3 on the road, and they're playing here in San Diego against a team that's going for a championship and a bowl berth. And if they pull this game out, that would have to be something for that program.
Well, Marshall Faulk is being quite concerned about Wayne Pittman. They're pretty close friends. Marshall trying to see what's going on.
I can't believe, though, Steve, that in a one-back offense that you wouldn't have 3 tailbacks ready.
Yep.
It just makes sense that if that one back's going to run the ball all the time, be in the action all the time, you run the risk of losing 1 or 2 of them.
You better have some depth.
And you better have a third one ready.
Well, maybe they feel that Maxey is their guy if they're in that situation. I think the interesting decision is going to be whether or not they feel they need to have Marshall Faulk back in there in spite of the fact that he has been injured.
Well, I don't know whether they want to take that chance. He does not appear that he's ready to play.
No, and Larry Maxey is on the field, Bo, in the huddle for San Diego State. But it is 4th down, so it's hard to tell whether Maxey's on there as a special teams player or whether he would be replacing Wayne Pittman. There he is, Larry Maxey. Maxey is a senior from right here in San Diego, 5'10", 170.
You don't suppose they figure on going on 4th down?
Well, they have about 1 yard to go.
I wouldn't recommend that.
Not at your own 19.
I don't think I'd recommend it.
Well, as fast as they can score, 8.5 minutes is a lot of time, and that's what we have remaining approximately in this game. Illinois will be the opponent of whomever wins the WAC conference and goes to the Holiday Bowl, as Wayne Pittman is placed on the stretcher. And boy, over the last 2 years, he has done a terrific job for his fellow sophomore, filling in when necessary for Marshall Falk. But he, with the appearance of the treatment he received and the injury that appeared on the replay, will not be playing anywhere else at any time the rest of this season or postseason.
Well, let's just hope it's not serious enough that it'll affect his recovery, and we'll see him back running again next year.
San Diego State is going for it on 4th and 1 at their own 19, and Larry Maxey is the tailback.
This is going to be a quarterback sneak. He is a good sneaker. However, in that Wyoming game a couple of weeks ago, that sneak did them in. He was unable to make it.
Lowry trying to drive behind that line, and he's going to be real close. Real close. The referee says first down.
I think he got it. I'll tell you one thing, that takes a lot of guts. I'm not sure I'd have ever done that with 8:19 left, but San Diego did it, and if they win the game, that may be the play that wins it for them.
Now it is 1st and 10 at the 21. Breaking it out to about the 27. Tackled by Nick Serpis, 91.
Well, they had confidence to give him the ball right away, Steve. So they must feel he knows what he's doing. Here he is. He looks like makes the cut back just like he's run it in practice a lot, and picked up good yardage.
2nd down, about 4 to go. Tight end Ziegler. 1st down at the 41. James Burton on the tackle. A gain of 14.
This is the bootleg play off of the lead back play there. The tight end was totally uncovered. He get a 1 block down there, but not enough. But he did get a big play and a 1st down.
We have a report that Wayne Pittman suffered a fractured left ankle. And that is the injury that caused him to have to leave the game as Maxey carries again. Big hole. And Maxey rips off about 7 on 1st down. Brian Porter, 28, made the stop in the secondary.
That was a great cut by Maxey because Zach Ricks went to the front side and they pushed him over there slightly. And Maxey saw it and cut back right in behind over the ball. Got good yardage.
2nd down and a long 2 at the 49 of San Diego State. 6.5 minutes remaining. San Diego State down by 4. Maxey again. 1st down. And some extra shoving going on after the play as Zach Ricks got into it a little bit with Tony Nichols. The ball now at about the 47 of Fresno State.
Well, so far, Larry Maxey has acquitted himself well coming into this game and having to run under this pressure.
Now we're down to the 6-minute mark. Maxey again. And they're waiting for him as he crosses the line of scrimmage. He gains about 2 to the 44. It's 45 Chris Williams who makes the first hit. And Al Luganville continues to pace.
Well, of course, a field goal won't help them. They have to get into the end zone. And believe it or not, they have not been able to do that this half.
This is the 10th play of this drive. They've already eaten up 4 minutes off the clock. And they're at the 44 of Fresno State. They started at their own 10-yard line. comes out, but it's after the hit. 57, Steve Kasner, and Zach Ricks, 95, made the first contact. Gene Smith, 13, covered him.
They're running a 3 tight end offense. There's a tight end up there on the wing. You can see they're getting good movement on Ricks in there. But the cutback wasn't there like it's been in the past. So now they run into a 3rd down situation.
3rd and 5. At the Fresno State 41. Lowry with lots of time completes it. Darnay Scott breaks free. Gets a block. Touchdown. Aztecs come back on a 90-yard drive, a 41-yard touchdown pass to leading receiver Darnay Scott.
You just know they can't keep him out of the end zone a whole half. This is Scott from a wide position coming across the middle, a missed tackle in the secondary, a great block on the corner there, and he goes in standing up for a touchdown.
Darnay Scott, 157 yards receiving today on only 6 catches. San Diego State now in front by 2 with Trackus's extra point to come. It is good. Four minutes and 32 seconds remaining in the game. 79 points have been scored, and San Diego State holds a mere 3-point lead. More football coming later in the week. Thanksgiving Day, it's Auburn and number 2 Alabama beginning at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And then the day after Thanksgiving, eat that turkey sandwich and watch the traditional Nebraska-Oklahoma game. Right here on ABC, that begins at 10:30 Pacific time on Friday morning. Saturday, you're going to see a day-night doubleheader. Florida State in a big showdown between 2 top 10 teams. And then at night, primetime special, the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame in a traditional collision with top 20 team USC. That begins at 5 Pacific time. 4 huge games in 3 days over Thanksgiving weekend here on ABC. Lowry was 3 of 3 for 61 yards passing on the drive, including this touchdown to Darnay Scott. What a block by Keith Williams.
Great block. Sprung it.
Lowry now is 13 of 26 for 340 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. The Aztecs on a 90-yard drive, and now Anthony Daigle and Ron Rivers are back. Andy Trackus will kick it, and Fresno State will have the ball in 4.5 minutes to see what they can do. Too deep in the end zone. Rivers will not run it out, and Fresno State will start 80 yards away. I'll tell you what, Andy Trackus, throughout his career, has done a tremendous job for San Diego State.
It's a great boost to the defense to force the offense to start at their own 20. There's plenty of time left. 4 minutes, 32 seconds. The Bulldogs have 1 timeout remaining.
Trent Dilfer leads him up and gives it to Rivers on 1st down. Rivers breaks a tackle and gets 4 to the 24. Knocked down by Jamal Duff, number 48. Rivers has a chance to wind up with 200 yards rushing today.
He's had a great day. Here's that same sweep. Gets a decent block in there from Neal, and then runs hard for a 5-yard gain. That's the same play that he broke in the first period for a touchdown.
Less than 4 minutes to play. Rivers again. short of the first down by about 2 as he gets about 4 more. Darrell Lewis and Mike Burns, 56 on the stop.
Those safeties are going to come up and make those plays at the line of scrimmage. You must think of play action passing.
The Aztecs exhorting their defense along with their fans on 3rd and 2. Rivers now has gained 171 yards. Lorenzo Neal appears to have the first down as he punches the ball just across the 30. May have been pushed back, but it is a first down for Fresno State. Jamal Duff and Mike Burns on the stop. The clock stopping at 3:06 for the chains to be moved on first down.
I wouldn't think that Coach Sweeney would want to settle for a field goal here. Astronomical figures in yards.
Over 900 yards of total offense and 1,000 yards well within reach. First down, Fresno State. Dilfer under pressure. He's going to be dropped. Sebastian Glaze, number 93.
Here's Glace, as you can see, is beating their best lineman, Jesse Hardwick, to get in on the quarterback. Hardwick still blocking him there while he's sacking the quarterback.
And Tracy Mao came in to finish off Dilfer. It's a loss of a 4th sack, brother, and a loss of 8. Dilfer wants to go long. Overthrows Ross. No flag. Again, Gary Taylor with the deep coverage on Michael Ross. 1 minute, 55 seconds remaining in the game. And it's going to be 3rd down and 17 yards to go. Let's pause 5 seconds to allow our ABC stations to identify themselves. Third and 17. Complete to Seabron for a first down. Malcolm Seabron with a big catch, covered by Damon Pieri, and he's 2 yards beyond the marker.
What a
gain
great
of 19.
What a great throw by Trent Dilfer as he runs this in route and is wide open. They're playing zone. It's not a big cushion zone, but it's enough to get that ball in there.
1 minute, 37 seconds left in the game. Fresno State driving. Rivers hit in the backfield and then hemmed in Tracy Mao. But it was Robert Griffith, 34, who penetrated, messed up the play, and Tracy Mao finished him off.
With a minute and a half left, I'm not sure that running play was the best use of the clock. You almost have to in this situation. You can see the sweep here. Both guards coming out. It's played well by Griffith, chasing the ball into the backfield.
2nd down and 10. Dilfer chased out by Glaze. Glover has him. He throws it forward. Incomplete. He had the tight end, Marty Thompson, number 80, but couldn't get the ball to him. And he was fortunate that he didn't go down before he got it away.
Only because he's a great athlete. That was a tremendous athletic play by him just to save the down and not get the sack. But it's a legitimate throw here, even albeit underhanded, because there is a receiver in the area.
Now there is Derek Mahoney. He is the field goal kicker, as well as the punter. They are down by 3, less than a minute to go. 3rd down, 10. Malcolm Seabron can't hold on. He turned around and couldn't make the catch. 49 seconds remaining, but it is 4th down, 10 yards to go, and the ball at the Fresno State 43.
What an exciting ending. Here's the play. You can see him as he breaks to the outside. The ball was actually thrown a little too far to the outside for him to catch it.
Miami has defeated Syracuse 16-10. Miami and San Diego State play next week. Timeout called by Fresno State. That is their final timeout. We'll be back for the final 49 seconds in a minute. Due to the length of today's game, we'll be unable to bring you the Thrifty Car Rental post-game report this afternoon, but with, 79 points being scored, I think it should run a little long. Night is beginning to fall in San Diego. And could the curtain be falling for Fresno State in their last gasp attempt to keep their bowl hopes alive? It is 4th and 10. Dilfer over the middle, complete to Anthony Daigle, and enough for a first down. That is the 14th time in 17 attempts that Fresno State has come up with a 4th down conversion.
What a great catch. He'll kill the ball now, and because he has no timeouts left.
Now, time is called by the officials. It's called by San Diego State.
Well, they just saved the Bulldogs are down, that's all. But Steve, this game has been exciting from the opening kickoff, and it's going to go down to the last play.
Derek Mahoney warming up his leg in case they call for him to try to tie it. Obviously, they want to try to win it before they go to that option, but they have no timeouts remaining. In this series, and this is the 43rd time these teams have met, this is not the most points they have scored. 82 points they scored in 1952. A tie game would give us an 82-point total. Well, our Chevrolet most valuable players of the game. For Fresno State, Ron Rivers, who is over 170 yards rushing, including an 80-yard touchdown run in the first quarter. And for San Diego State, Darnay Scott, their exceptional wide receiver, who has had many big plays today, almost as much yardage receiving as Rivers has had rushing, and also touchdown himself. And Chevrolet will donate $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund in the name of those two players. Rivers with 173 yards on the ground. 1st and 10, but the clock is running. Dilfer's going long. Caught! Malcolm Seabron at the 9 as he came back for the ball.
Unbelievable. That's unbelievable.
Sam Williford and Darrell Lewis were down there, and Fresno State has to hurry up. A 36-yard gain. They have no timeouts. As soon as the chains are set, the officials will start the clock, and there it goes. 30 seconds remaining. 1st and goal at the 9. Dilfer now may have to run out of bounds. Does he get out? Yes, but just barely.
He wasted way too much time with that play, Steve. He should have gone back there if they're going to throw the fade, and if he's not open, just throw it away. But running around like that, he ate up too much time, and that's going to cost him a play or two.
19 seconds remain on the clock. He did get the ball down to the 6, where it is 2nd and goal. San Diego State leading by 3. The fade in the end zone. Touchdown! Tydus Gary Taylor can't believe it.
That was a fade route that was played fairly well by Taylor, but unfortunately it was almost a simultaneous catch. But Winans got it, and that's the touchdown that puts the Bulldogs ahead.
Dilfer with 276 yards passing, and Fresno State may have just entered the big time in the WAC conference, as well as kept San Diego State once again from going to the Holiday Bowl and winning the WAC championship.
This was an unbelievable start. It's an unbelievable finish of a football game that was exciting from beginning to end.
Trent Dilfer acts as if he almost can't believe it. And Dilfer, only a sophomore. He may have hyperventilated jumping around on the sidelines. The extra point to come as it is 44-41 Fresno State. Derek Mahoney will not have to attempt a game-time field goal. He will go for the extra point. It is good. An 80-yard drive after San Diego State had gone 90 yards to take the lead. Fresno State comes back on 13 plays, and on that drive, Dilfer was 4 of 8 for 81 yards, including the touchdown pass. Let's get an update quickly in New York. John Saunders.
Steve, a wild one where you are. Another wild finish. Miami-Syracuse. 4th down. Last chance. Marvin Graves hits Chris Gedney, but Casey Greer sticks him at the 4-yard line and saves the touchdown that would have won the game for Syracuse. 16-10. Steve.
Thank you, John. Well, let's take a look once again at Dilfer's pass to Tydus Winans. And Winans, a junior from Los Angeles, with a real great effort in the corner.
He got his arm up. Gary Taylor got his arm up there, but I don't think he saw the ball. That's why he wasn't able to knock it down. But what a finish. What a finish to a football game.
Well, both quarterbacks played outstanding today. Lowry for San Diego State with over 300 yards passing. Dilfer with 276. But in a game like this, the team that scores last usually wins. Now, there are 14 seconds remaining on the clock. San Diego State has 1 timeout remaining.
For some reason or other, they must have gotten a 5-yard penalty.
There was motion on the extra point.
Okay. And, but if there were motion on the extra point, they forced him to kick it.
Yeah, it was celebrating. They got the old
a
celebration.
5-yard celebration.
Yep. DeAndre Maxwell is not going to run out of bounds. He gets it out to about the 35 and eats up half of what's on the clock almost. 8 seconds remaining. A penalty flag and another now is thrown after the play. Fresno State with 528 yards of total offense. And the officials conferencing will get the call from Bill McCabe.
Well, I think a San Diego player took a swing.
Unsportsmanlike conduct against Fresno State.
Oh, it's against both. It's your favorite penalty, Steve.
Yeah, the canceling out of the 15-yarders there. Boy, I'll tell you, why even call it? So the ball remains at the 35. 8 seconds on the clock, and San Diego State will send 3 wide receivers to the left in an effort to pull one out.
They got to get the ball to Darnay Scott and hope he can take it all the way.
Lowry heaves it as far as he can. Darnay Scott with 3 defenders. Does he have it? Yes, he does. But what about the clock? 1 second remaining. 1 second remaining inside the 20. San Diego State with another huge play.
They got to get up over the ball. They got to take that timeout. If they don't take that timeout, they won't get the play.
Well, they're going to take it. Timeout called by San Diego State, their final timeout. They are down by 4. They cannot go for the field goal.
Was that a catch or was that a catch?
3 guys around him. And Darnay Scott, what an athlete, went up and pulled it down at the 18 of Fresno State. Here it is again.
Here's the catch. There are 3 men there, and he goes up and takes it away from him. What a tremendous athletic catch.
Darnay Scott with 157 yards receiving today. That was a 47-yarder.
Well, I take my hat off to him. He's done everything he could to win this game. There are a lot of players out there that have.
Nick Surface can't even watch on the Fresno State. Now watch the clock running down as we show you this again in slow motion. He's down and the clock stops with 1 second left.
Boy, I'll tell you one thing. that was a quick end of that clock running.
Well, there's no place like home,
no
as
place
Dorothy
like home.
would say, right?
Yes. Well, this is it. We aren't going to play anymore after this.
3 wideouts to the right. Lowry needs to go in the end zone. Final play of the game. Throws it up. DeAndre Maxwell can't get it, and Fresno State has won it. They storm the field in celebration as San Diego State is turned away from the Holiday Bowl and the Western Athletic Conference Championship yet again. Last year, a 52-all tie as BYU came back from way down to knock them out. Jim Sweeney and the Bulldogs of Fresno State not only keep San Diego State out of the Holiday Bowl, they keep their faint bowl hopes alive, and they enter the WAC conference with even more credibility in their first year of membership.
Well, that's about as wild a game as you'll ever want to see. Exciting game from beginning to end, and it ended just exactly the way it should.
Fresno State wins it in an unbelievable finish, 45-41. First a 90-yard drive by San Diego State, an 80-yard drive to win it by Fresno State, and it comes down to this final play as Fresno State wins by 4. We'll be back.